This is London's biggest conversation with Nick Abbot.
Do you mind if I say a few words? Thank you.
I pressed and I pressed and I pressed and nothing happened. You could have driven a bus through that gap, Amanda.
You could.
Yeah, not my fault. It was like that when I got here.
Was it now?
Yes. Well, I was going to talk about good news, but I have been preempted by Zora Suleiman, our excellent newsreader. She said that Simon Cowell had been pelted with eggs. What excellent news! Britain's Got Talent, my eye. I saw just moments of it when I was having my dinner this evening, and it was some squalling youngster on stage. I'd say, three notes she actually hit, all of the rest of them way off. Never mind, Britain's not got any talent. Who won, by the way? Who cares? I've got no idea. Here's my guarantee to you. If you stop watching that tripe, they'll stop making it. I promise that's true. So I was going to talk about good news, and I'm determined to see it through. We'll see how far I get. It's all reliant on you, because I have some good news stories, but definitely not enough to last me 3 hours. And if I have to start talking about bad news stories, I will be not angry, just disappointed. So I'm after your good news stories. In the same way that bad news it makes up the news, and what makes up the news is usually rubbernecking on other people's misfortunes. Most of the news doesn't have anything to do with the people that are listening to the news. It's just other people's misfortunes. And you will think, well, you know, I've got good news about, I don't know, a relationship, or I found a fiver on the pavement, or just the minutiae of everyday life. And you'll think, well, I won't pass that on because it's not relevant to anybody else. But if you think about it, most of the news isn't relevant to anybody else. Somebody got killed in some place that you've never visited and you've never heard of them. How is that relevant to your life? It isn't. And yet it will be all over the news if it's a juicy enough story. This is Charles Moore in the Telegraph today. He said, when on Monday the Queen's Awards for Voluntary Service were announced, they were not covered by any outlet of the national media. The awards have the same status as the honours list, but they were ignored. Charles Moore of the Telegraph says, we prefer darkness. News, first and foremost, is what has only just happened. Good things occasionally burst suddenly upon us, a surprise place at university, a couple's unexpected engagement, the discovery that one has not got cancer at all. But, on the whole, what is good comes by degrees, and is the work of years. Bad news hits hard and fast. It is news that someone has just been murdered in this country. It is not news that 60 million people have not. Is it true that what's good news is not news, he asks. Local papers and broadcasters are unashamedly on the side of the areas they serve. Of course they relish scandals, but they also delight in successes. At flower and dog shows, if local papers are to be believed, rain always fails to dampen the spirits. National papers only really get interested when every exhibit is swept away in a tidal wave, or, as has happened recently at a dog show in Kent, people start punching each other. Oh, I swear, are people stupid or what?
Yes.
Charles Moore of the Daily Telegraph says, I wouldn't say that the local approach is always right, but I do think that it reflects human reality a bit more accurately than the opposite. Correctamundo, Charles. Human reality is not a list of disasters and mayhem. That is not our personal reality. Our personal reality is, by and large, mostly good news. Mostly people that we know aren't killed to death. Hey, are you leaving?
Yeah.
You were absent. You were absent yesterday.
Yeah, well, thanks for asking if I'm feeling better.
Well,
I'm feeling a bit better, thank you.
You were sick yesterday. I suppose you're going to say you were sick of me. Got in there before you. Ha ha. All right, go on, have your fag and a pizza, whatever it is you're about to go and do. I'll just sit here and work, shall I? She's taking a break, can you believe it? 10 minutes into the show. Anyway, that's good news. I'll celebrate it, my own personal silent way. I'm smiling as I speak. Where was I? Oh, yeah. This is Charles Moore in the Daily Telegraph. A demand for good news. A plea, not a demand, a plea. He's pleading. He says, why is it, for example, that one sees endless news footage of various frequently oafish or fanatical people demanding their right to this, that and the other, and so little of all of those, of whom there are literally millions who devote large parts of their lives to helping others? That last part, not news. The former, news. He says the first journalist to be brave enough to confront this question was the broadcaster Martin Lewis, who was famous on ITN and later the BBC News. 20 years ago, he launched into an argument for the good news. And not long after Mr. Lewis entered this field, he was offered a slot in which he could present the good news, which he turned down. His point was not that good news should be a special thing all by itself, to be distinguished from real news. We really are moving into an era when news is becoming interactive. The process of passing on, or even of adding to stories on the internet, can be as important as the original story itself. This week, he says, is National Volunteers Week. Second only to the return to these shores of Jose Mourinho, this was the main subject trending on Twitter this week. Really? He says it's good news, which, once again, could not be found in our traditional national media, says Charles Moore, who is, isn't he the editor, or the sub-editor, or the political editor? He's a massive cheese in the Daily Telegraph. You'd think he'd be able to affect it. But apparently not. News, by and large, is just rubbernecking on the unlucky. Most news is just revelling in others' misfortune. It's a cheap holiday in other people's misery.
Rock and roll!
So let's celebrate good news. And just as bad news is just random misfortune that happens to people you don't know, celebrate random fortune that happens to people that we won't know, i.e. you, or people you've heard of. Oh, and I wonder how far I'll get. I'm predicting nowhere. Maybe just people are not, well, just flat out not interested in good news. They're interested in good news happening to themselves, but perhaps they're not interested in hearing about it happening to other people. Which brings up all sorts of worrying thoughts. Maybe they're not interested in hearing it happen to other people because they prefer to revel in others' misfortunes, because it makes them feel better about themselves. But there I am straying into bad news again. Bad news about the state of the human race. So, he said, confidently expecting nothing in response, the number is 0845 6060 973. Let's have 3 hours, 3 short hours on a Saturday when we can revel in news that is not depressing and filled with death and blood and guts and gore. Do you think that would be possible? Yes. I expect not. I've got some good news. Has anybody go on the World Naked Bike Ride today? The World Naked Bike Ride took place today in London. Now, it's not the only place that it takes place. There's 2 uses of the word place in the same sentence. Never mind. Pretend I never said it. If you look at their website, there's I didn't count, but it looked like hundreds of places where this takes place. And they had various instructions as to how... what a nice day to get naked and go cycling, eh? Do not undress until just before the protest moves off, they said, as this will undermine our positive relationship with the authorities. I can't believe that the authorities, as uptight a country as this is, that the authorities would allow people en masse to take their clothes off, cycle around in the naughty naked nude. They said that there's no law against nudity in Britain. Really? There must be. What about that bloke who yomps butt naked? He's forever getting arrested. He's probably in jail now. There is no law against nudity in Britain, said the Naked Bike Ride people. World Naked Bike Ride, WNBR. But please don't exercise your right to nudity in London before the bike ride, as it will impact on our ability to make arrangements with the police. You'll be arrested by the law. Feel free to undress in the UK at any other time of the year, as this will not have any impact on the WNBR. Were people allowed to hire those... I hesitate to use the word, but what's the proper term for Boris bikes? I hesitate to use that word as well. The B bikes. People aren't allowed to drive around on the B bikes buck naked, are they? The finishes at Wellington Arch, the finish area will not be a venue for prolonged naked socialising. Just the thought of it. These are their instructions to the people who took part today. So when and I'm assuming that it went ahead, I have no confirmation because I saw no coverage of it in it's a good news story. No coverage whatsoever. The finishes at Wellington Arch, the finish area will not be a venue for prolonged naked socialising, they said. So when you've found your friends, taken your photographs, and celebrated the highlights of the ride, please get dressed and move on to continue your celebrations elsewhere. In particular, that's what I like. You may like it too. In particular, they said, and I want you to bring up a vivid mental image of this. Please note that the playing of games such as frisbee or ball games in the finish area is not allowed.
Affirmative.
0845 6060 973. Anybody go on the naked bike ride? Anybody got any positive news to pass on of any kind whatsoever? No appears to be the answer to that question. Oh, Struth. All right. Well, I'll talk about murder and depression and suicide after this short break.
LBC is London's biggest conversation with Nick Abbott.
Are you trying to be funny? Because I'm all out of laughs.
Yes, I'm trying. I am trying, in all senses of the word. Let's see if we can rustle up some good news, eh? Call in Reading. Hello, James.
Hello, you all right?
James.
Yeah, I found a dog at work. I found my client's dog that was lost.
Yeah.
That I lost, and now I found it. And I just, I thought I'd let you know.
And what kind of dog is it?
I couldn't tell you. It's a little dog.
It's not a little yappy dog, is it?
Yeah, it's one of those. Oh. It's one of those, yeah. I've never seen one before in my life. I don't know what it is, but I have found it. He's got a lot of land, you see, and the client's out at a wedding, and we were left in charge of the dog, and I lost the dog, and I've since found it.
A little small, yappy pug-type dog that women keep in their handbags, one of those?
One of those. One of those. I don't think he gets walked much, you can sort of tell by...
Well, yeah, his feet probably never touched anything other than carpet.
No, because it does come outside. I just don't think it goes very far.
Right.
It's a little bit tubby.
Yes, it sounds repulsive. Speaking of somebody who hates dogs that yap a lot...
No, so do I. I'm a big dog man.
Yeah, like a proper dog.
Like a proper dog, like a German Shepherd dog.
Yes, something that actually looks like a dog rather than a small child's stuffed toy.
Other than, like crow bait or a small rat.
Crow bait. But you managed to find it and get rid of it, as in give it back to its owner. Excellent news. Well done, James. Good start. 0845 6060 973. So, I wonder how the naked bike ride went today. Here's call in Woolwich might let us know. Julie.
Hello.
Julie.
Yes, I witnessed it.
You witnessed it?
I witnessed it. I was in Covent Garden, and I just heard these bells and stuff, so I had a look, and there they was, as large as life.
You took a look, did you? A quick peek, yes?
Yeah, and quite a lot of photos.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, some was on Boris' bike, so we'll have to,
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Now, there's a bike you don't want to rent accidentally.
Well, I did think that afterwards. I thought, I wonder if these are going to be hosed down or wiped over. But they had a lot of support from the crowds.
Yeah, I bet. I bet the crowds had never seen anything like it.
Well, yeah, that was another thing.
But did the crowds actually know what they were witnessing, or did they just think, here's a lot of crazy people without any clothes on?
I think a lot of them just thought there's a lot of crazy people without any clothes on, to be honest. Some had masks, some was just dressed up, you know.
Some were in masks?
Yeah, for their anonymity, I think.
Right, so they didn't mind showing their wherewithal, but not their facial features?
No, that's it.
Right.
Some did, you know, some as large as life, but some had, like, elephant masks on different...
Really?
It was really crazy. But tomorrow, Brighton are doing theirs.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Because before today, I thought that London was the only place that it happened, but it happens in many places all over the world.
Well, this is it, because they had flags, and it said World Naked Bike Ride.
Yeah.
So, but as I said, I just thought I'd call in just to say, yes, it did happen.
And how many people did you see, approximately?
I would say I saw at least about 70 people come
Really?
through.
Well, they did have
at
they did have a nice day for it, didn't they?
They did,
Yeah.
they did. And there was some in rickshaws. It was a nice little sort of festive thing to watch, actually.
There were naked passengers in one of those rickshaw bikes.
And the driver of the
And the
rickshaw
driver
was
as
naked.
well. Yeah, there's a view you don't want to see as a passenger, eh?
That's it. But, no, I just thought I'd phone in and let you know that, yes, it did go ahead. And, yeah, they had great support, which was nice.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they didn't have... actually, strictly speaking, Julie, they didn't have any support at all.
Well, true. Some did. Some was not so brave, but maybe next year.
Thanks very much, Julie. A spy report from Covent Garden. The World Naked Bike Ride. Some of their what they're promoting is actually not nakedness at all, which is what I originally thought it was. You know, be free and you let your bits out. But it's not. It doesn't have anything to do with that. They really are just about the cycling part. Well, I'll come to that if it's of interest in a while, because I have detailed files. Meanwhile, here's a call in Slough. Hello, Andy.
How's it going, mate?
All right, thanks.
Right, yeah, good news for me. I mean, it's a little bit selfish of me, but, yeah, basically, we've been working on a project with a couple of other people. We're launching a TV channel on Sky, and on Friday, you know, everything was sort of thumbs up, and we're going live on Thursday.
A TV channel?
Yeah, big news for me, that is, you know.
What's the TV channel?
Yeah, am I allowed to say it, yeah?
Well, I don't know. What's it? What's the subject of the television channel?
It's in the ethnic section, so it's from, you know, in the 800 sort of section on the channel. We find out the exact number, but it's probably going to be about 857.
Yeah.
But we find out the number on Monday. If you don't mind, I'll mention the name. It's got nothing graphic in it.
Yeah, go on then.
It's called Muslim World Network, and we've been working on this project for a couple of years now. And you know, last year we sort of like took it to the next level, and we've been chipping away at it as it was. And
Does it cost a lot of money
we're
to get your own channel on Sky?
Obscene amount of money. And then it's the running monthly cost as well, because you've got to pay for your play out and things like that. So it's the monthly cost that's really hard. Then you've got to buy the EPG, which is a big chunk of money. So we got some, you know, we've got some private investors in that. So it's nothing, you know, no organisation pumping their agenda behind it. You know, it's sort of.
So to get your own channel on Sky, you don't have to give me the exact price. Just give me an idea. Is it a 5-figure sum or a 6-figure sum? 7-figure sum?
It's a 5-figure sum. Five-figure sum.
5 figures,
yeah, so it's,
right.
But you could, you know, EPG market is quite lucrative, because sometimes you have a, you know,
Electronic Program Guide. Oh, I better got that right.
Yeah, you deserved a little ding there,
Yeah.
mashallah. But yeah, they vary in price, but you know, you're looking at about 150 sort of K for an EPG. And once you got that, then you got to get your licenses and everything from Sky and from Ofcom, which you all know a bit about that in radio. And
No,
once
I've no idea about anything like that.
well, once you got all that, then they, you know, and they've checked you out and you pass all the checks and everything.
Yeah.
They gave us a thumbs up. So
Right.
big news for me.
Okay, well, the best of luck. Cheers, Andy. 0845 6060 973. Excellent start. How will we continue? I've got no end of bad news, which I'll hold in reserve, and I can lay on you as usual, because you know, there's this show is. It's just like every other show on the radio. It's mostly about bad news, because that's what news is. But I've got dozens of stories that are all kind of depressing. I'll try and gussy them up for you and present them in as amusing a way as I can. But mostly it's all about bad news. But then I have some stories that are middling and some that are just flat out good. And this is, well, it depends. It depends. Depends on your point of view. Male train drivers in Stockholm have circumvented a ban on wearing shorts in the summer by coming to work in skirts. More than a dozen male employees working for, oh, blimey, how do you pronounce that? Roslagsbanan. working for the Roslagsbanan train services in the Swedish capital have been wearing skirts in order to keep cool. One of the drivers, Martin Ackerston, explained that temperatures can hit 95 degrees in the train cab during the summer, and uniform regulations by the train company Arriva state that skirts or long trousers are acceptable. At a meeting last year, drivers were told that shorts were not allowed. They've given their blessing to the men to wear skirts, however. To say anything else would be discrimination, the communications head told the local newspaper. Painted into a corner there, I fear. He said that the regulations were in place so that staff looked presentable and tidy, adding that shorts appeared more relaxed than a skirt. A meeting is due in September to discuss the issue of uniforms. The Roslagsbanan train service carries around 45,000 stunned people per workday. And I would personally pay a lot of money, a huge amount. I'm talking a 5-figure sum to see Bob Crow in a skirt. Let's chip in. See, let's get it done. 0845 6060 973. Where is the, oh, here it is. There's some information about being naked. I did highlight it, but now it's been subsumed in a great morass of other stories. But it was something of the order of, being naked in this country is not illegal if you, unless you are doing it in order to shock. Yes?
There it is.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Nick. It's only illegal to be nude with intent to shock or harm people. Harm people? Don't ask why I know that, says Tim. Why do you know that, Tim? It's only illegal to be nude with the intent to shock or harm people. Well, people are shocked by nudity. So it doesn't matter whether you intend to shock them or not. You are guilty unless you're on a bike. No ball games. Did you see any of the... you were in town for the major part of the day. Did you see any... No, she's not rightly listening. Here's what they are proposing. Save the planet. Shifting to a car-free lifestyle is one of the most powerful things a person can do to make a real difference in reducing negative environmental impacts on this planet, says the World Naked Bike Ride people. They say it's time to put a stop to the indecent exposure of people and the planet to cars and the pollution they create. Cycling promotes body awareness, the fact that one can achieve a more healthy lifestyle from the exercise we achieve by using self-powered transport. Cycling makes us non-renewable energy sources less dependent on oil. That doesn't make any sense. Cycling makes us non-renewable energy sources less dependent on oil. That does not make sense in English. Cycling promotes local cycling businesses and local cycling organisations. The World Naked Bike Ride people strip the complexities from modern transport to a simplified message of cycling. For the vast majority of the people's transport needs, cycles are the right vehicle for the right job. You don't need a wheelbarrow to carry a pea or a carrot. 0845 6060 973. The good news will keep pouring from the radio, but you have to bring it to me. You can text 84850, email nicka@lbc.co.uk, and if you're on Twitter, it's @lbc973. The time? 10:30.
Biggest Conversation with Nick Abbott.
You're wondering what it's all about, and I can't tell you because I don't know myself.
So Charles Moore of Her Majesty's Daily Telegraph has suggested that what the country actually needs is concentrating on more good news, or just allowing a sliver of good news to slip in just here and there, as opposed to the tsunami of bad news that envelops us on a daily basis. And most bad news, like I said before, is just revelling in other people's misfortunes. It's people that you've never met, from places that you've never been, who get killed, or whatever it might be, and that's news, whereas actually, to you, it doesn't affect your life in any way whatsoever. If you didn't know, you wouldn't your life would not be changed. In the opposite camp, I can't think of what the proper word is, but that'll do. In the opposite camp, if something good happens to somebody, that is never news. If something good happens to somebody that you have never met, in a place that you've never been, who cares? Only interested in bad news. Well, let's see if... I know that this isn't going to be possible, but I don't know. I'd be very surprised if I could get 3 hours of good, happy stories from people. What do you think, Amanda? Bet nah.
I think there's enough good news out there.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Well, all right then. She's positive. Let's speed on and see how far we get. Good news stories, 0845 6060 973. Leytonstone. Hello, Sophie.
Hello, Nick. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
I was very happy and all ready to give you 2 good news stories, but then you made me cross.
Yeah. Yes?
You mentioned a group of people who are the most irresponsible road users known to man.
Cyclists.
Yes.
Are you a car driver?
I'm a pedestrian.
All right.
And they are so irresponsible. The red mist descends whenever I think about them.
But not
They go
all
the wrong way.
cyclists. Not all cyclists.
Well, not all Muslims are terrorists, but they...
Yeah.
Anyway, they go the wrong way down the cycle lane.
Mm-hmm.
They drive on they ride on the pavement without those bells.
Yeah.
They ignore the red lights.
Yes.
So they must all be colourblind. And every time they look at you, like it's your fault.
Now, you're not talking about Muslim terrorist cyclists, are you?
No, but
Right.
the Daily Mail would have you believe.
Yes, no doubt.
I've got 2 good news stories.
Yeah,
From your favourite newspaper,
where did you find them?
the Daily Mail, as you like to call it.
You got 2 good news stories from the Daily Mail.
Mm.
I seriously
they've
doubt
mentioned-
that's true. Are you lying?
They've mentioned Poles and Muslims without saying anything derogatory.
Go on.
One is a front page news story about people abandoning NHS clinics for a Polish clinic that
Yeah.
is, quote, modern and spotless,
Right.
and it puts patients first.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed it didn't mention... Oh, yes, no, it did. It's Polish. It's in the headline.
Yeah, you said that, yeah. It was £70 a go, though. I mean, that seems quite expensive. 70 quid just to go and see a GP. I mean, you might be in and out of there in a trice.
It is, but when it's your health and you're desperate, you know, you'll resort to any solution.
Yeah, any means possible. And the story did say that, I can't remember who it was, but somebody in the government found it astonishing that people couldn't get to see their GP on the day that they fell ill. Well, I don't know where they go to see their GP, but it's impossible. The GP will open their phone lines near where I am at 8:30 in the morning, and you can sit there dialing and dialing and dialing and dialing, and you just get a busy signal until all of the places are full, and they got no appointments left.
Exactly right, Nick. When I was growing up, we had a GP who used up the the ground floor of a house, and you turned up, waited, and you saw the GP.
Yeah.
But now we have to book the appointment, and like you said, never get through.
Yeah. And by the time your appointment comes around, you're either cured or dead.
Exactly. And the other news story, and I noticed it was on page 19, so they begrudgingly gave this a positive slant.
Yeah.
Axe wielding, and I won't mention the store's name, raiders in. They did mention burqas in a negative light, though.
Well, only because you couldn't see the miscreants.
Yeah, the gentle giant pizza waiter. Now, I noticed they didn't put Muslim gentle giant pizza waiter. And it's a negative story, they'll put Muslim, but when it's a positive story, they'll disregard that bit.
Right. It was a shop beginning with S and ending in Elfridges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And apparently they stole £500,000 worth of watches. How stupid is that? £500,000 worth of watches fits in 2 small bags? Who's buying all these watches? I don't get it. Like, I am mystified. Who are all these people?
I'm not a materialistic person at all, so I'm a bit perplexed myself.
Yeah.
But
I couldn't afford to buy those watches. I couldn't even afford to steal them.
I'd be afraid to wear one.
Exactly. Especially in Leytonstone, Sophie. Don't even think about it.
Don't be Leytonstone down. It's a lovely place to live.
I'm sure it is, yeah. OK, well, two relatively good news. And that guy who stopped them, by the way, he's the spitting image of Vin Diesel.
He is.
Yeah.
He seems like a lovely man. And,
just not one that you'd want to cross.
if you're in a burqa running out of self.
Well, exactly. Yeah, he should have his own film franchise.
Correct.
Exactly. And the other thing, without being morbid.
Oh God, here we go.
Another good news story. Nelson Mandela is still alive.
Still alive. Yeah. Excellent news. Well done, Sophie. 0845 6060 973. I got a story that was in the Daily Mail that's actually a good news story, but they wrote it up as a bad one. Good news written as bad news. Only in the Daily Mail could they describe young people going to the park as a bad thing. Here's the headline. Young outnumber over 55s visiting Britain's parks and gardens by 2 to 1. Boom blamed on phone apps able to take any snap look professional.
What?
I'm not making this up. That's exactly how it was written. The young outnumber over 55s visiting Britain's parks and gardens by 2 to 1. This boom is blamed on phone apps able to make any snap look professional. How could they... what's bad about that story? Blamed. Young people going to the park. I mean, they make it sound like they're, tipping over wheelie bins and keying people's cars.
Disgusting.
They're only going to the park. Boom blamed on phone apps. I am stunned. The search for the perfect Instagram photo has fueled a boom in young people thinking it's cool to visit parks and gardens. They are horrified. To the nearest decade, approximately how old do you think the person that wrote that sentence is, by the way? 90? 110? Once the preserve of pensioners admiring the flower beds and herbaceous borders, new figures reveal twice as many people in their 20s and 30s flock to the great outdoors compared to the over 65s. Isn't that awful? Tourism bosses believe the surge in interest is the result of young people wanting to post dramatic photos on websites, including Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. I've never heard such a load of old rubbish in all my life. Mobile phone apps, splains the Mail, like Instagram, enable users to quickly edit snaps using filters, which can enhance pictures, making a blue sky bluer or dark clouds even more moodier.
Groovy.
They can be quickly uploaded to social media websites, attracting likes and comments from friends around the world. Comments. That will usually be, yes, lady with a hand in the air?
But you don't only have to take photos of parks to Instagram. You can pretty much take a photo of anything.
Anything, yeah. Anything at all. Yeah. Do you Instagram?
No, I don't. Do you?
Either. I've got no idea how to do that.
I don't know what it is.
I'm not really interested in sharing my photographs with the world, because the world will say, oh, well, that's rubbish, isn't it?
No, they'll like it.
No, they won't. They'll say, oh, I hate that, and I hate you, and you should die. They'll say things like that, because that's what people do on the internet.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Sandy Dorr, Chief Executive of Visit Britain, said, spending time in our fabulous gardens is something which is embraced by the younger generation and seen as a cool thing to do.
Yowza.
Not only can they enjoy the natural beauty, she says, but they can check in and post photos on social media sites. This may be the funniest article about anything I've ever read. Young people are going to parks, and the blame is with cameras on their mobile phones. Cameras on people's mobile phones is to blame for young people going to parks. Isn't that awful? As though anyone goes to a park for any other reason than going to a park. You don't need to be in a park to take pictures. So, even though it was written up as a bad news story, I don't know how they got bad news out of that story. Genius. I'm going to count that as good news. Nature, there's nothing wrong with it. He's calling Chiswick. Hello, Milan.
Hi, Nick.
Milan.
Talking about great news.
Yeah.
It's all relative because, all my friends and my cyber friends were really chuffed me and really happy, and they thought it was fantastic news. but maybe the average Joe on the street wouldn't care unless they can relate to it. It's all about your dreams coming true. Like this week, I toured with my favourite band and saw them in 4 dates in 4 different locations.
Is it One Direction?
It's not One Direction, but you can have another guess.
Steps?
It's not Steps.
Really?
It's
I'm running out of bands. I don't think there are any other bands, are there?
it's Megadeth.
Megadeth!
Rock and roll!
What do you think of the new Queens of the Stone Age album? Not heavy enough for you?
Not heavy enough for me.
Seriously, I've had this conversation with you several times. Do you only listen to one kind of music, to the exclusion of all others?
And classical.
Right.
Because heavy metal and classical music
they're
like
kind
cousins.
of twinned, yeah.
Yeah, cousins. Yeah, we've had this conversation, you don't believe me. But yeah, I saw them in Newcastle, Glasgow, Manchester and London, and I got to meet the band. And
now, let me ask you a question about this, because I saw a film about Metallica and doing the various stage shows, and they swore a lot at the audience. You know, is everybody having a bleeping good time, that sort of thing. But they swore the exact same script in the exact same place at each of the shows. I mean, how phony is that?
Megadeth didn't do that.
Didn't do that, right. Glad to hear it.
Didn't do that. Rip-roaring chase. But the fantastic thing was meeting them. They remembered me, and I got backstage at the gig in Brixton, and I was hanging out with the Megadeth crew, and I was chatting to the lead guitarist, and I thought, this is the dream come true. And then,
Now, were they snorting tequila?
No, it was all pretty chilled out. I was mostly partying with the support band in their dressing room. I got to be good friends with them on tour.
Because most people would say, and you should live your life by this, never meet your heroes. They'll always be a disappointment.
And we've had this discussion before, and meeting Dave Mustaine from Megadeth was amazing. Like, he gave me a hug, goes, "Hey, we talk all the time. You know, we should. I want your contact details." And he told us.
Are you making this up? Is this like are you hallucinating right now? Is this a dream that you had? Because this doesn't sound like real life.
No, it's serious, and I was stunned, and people around me were stunned, and I was like, "This is my hero. Give me a hug," and wanted my contact details to stay in touch. He goes, "Oh, you know, really appreciate your support." I said, "Yeah, this is my show number 23, and I've seen you around the world." And he was like, "Oh, I really appreciate your support."
Well, that's fairly good news. Meeting your hero and it not being a crushing disappointment. They're not turning out to be a giant flaming ass. I met my hero once. It was a fellow called Neil Rogers. And Neil Rogers' shows are available on the World Wide Web. He's all over YouTube. And if you join me on Twitter and Facebook, I can't remember which one I posted it on today, one of the two. There's a link to some Neil Rogers shows and pictures and articles and all the rest of it. Greatest talent in the history of radio, in my opinion. And I met him, and it was... I really wish I'd never met the guy, because I just sort of... I crumbled in his presence, and I didn't have anything to say, and he looked at me as though, oh, God, it's another one of these nutters who just wants to meet me, and then becomes speechless. And he turned on his heels and walked away. Quite right, too. I would have done that. And for that reason, I gave up the chance to meet Joe Walsh, who was he was the first sort of serious artist, like, who wasn't, you know, like Chirpy Cheep or Slade, or, you know, when I was a little kid, like the first serious artist that I actually really got into, and for that reason for emotional reasons, remains my favourite artist. Those first 4 albums that he made after he left the James Gang are among my favourites of all time. And I had a chance to meet the fella, but I passed it up, and I left the building in a hurry before I cast my eyes on him, because I thought, well, you know what, he might just blank me, or it might be disappointing in some way, so I'm just going to say no. But you did it, and it turned out okay.
Yeah, and it's a great thing, meeting your heroes and hanging out with the band and the support band.
Just remember, though, Milan, you're not in a rock and roll band. Don't get carried away. All right?
It felt like it.
Yeah.
It felt like, you know, how many times can you get backstage at say, a venue like Brixton Academy, and I put it up on the forum pages, and people from America are like replying back, "Oh, that's awesome, that's so good." And
yeah, just don't get carried away, Milan. You're not in a rock and roll band.
You're ruining the dream.
Yeah, I know. I hate to break the news to you, but you're not in Megadeth. But enjoy it while you can. Good news. Thanks for that. 0845 6060 973.
Rock and roll!
It does get more rock and roll than Megadeth, right? Some texts and emails. Polly on Twitter. What does that mean?
It means Polly wrote to you on Twitter.
Oh, pretty Polly.
Yeah.
She says, I'm getting married this year and I have the most adorable daughter and a man I love. Life's good. There you go. See, none of that is actual news, but it's somebody's life suffused with positivity. If that exact same life, if the same person had like a dreadful circumstance happen to her, an unusual and awful occurrence, then it would be news, even though you would still have no idea who she is. Lady with a hand in the air. Yes?
No, I don't. I was on the phone and changing the TV channel back to Sky News.
Were you scratching your armpit? Something like that?
No, not at all. Not at all.
It looked like you were waving your hand in the air like you just don't care.
No.
Are you in there listening to disco music? Here is St Albans. Hello, Ricky.
Hi.
Ricky.
A bit of good news.
Yeah.
About the man who brought his first metal detector, walked into some woods around St Albans somewhere, and found £10,000 worth of Roman gold coins.
When was that?
It happened one day last week, I believe. I don't know which day.
Well, I suppose it's good news. To people who do that as a regular amusement, go around with metal detectors, they must have been chewing their faces off. They must have been so furious. The first time he got his metal detector out, he won £10,000.
That's right.
That's like these people who win £80 million the first time they play the Euro Millions. I mean, it's good news for them, but it makes me furious.
Yes, it doesn't do a lot for me either.
No. All right. Well, no, that is good news. Just because it's good news doesn't, or just because it's happening to other people doesn't mean to say that it's bad news. We don't have to be comparing ourselves with other people getting good news and twisting it into it being bad news because it's not happening to us. Texts and emails. Did you hear that Justin Bieber is going into space? That's some good news. Unfortunately, he's coming back again, says Tim. Or is he? Good news, I got home today and there was actually a parking space outside my house. It's just the little things like that that really perk you up, eh? Because every now and again you'll find the perfect parking space. I had to go to A&E, and the person that drove me found a parking space almost literally within 10 yards of the hospital that I had to sit on a wooden chair in for 3.5 hours. I was stunned. And this was in just off Marylebone Road. Just off one of the busiest roads in the whole of London. Right in the middle of the West End. A parking space. And when you find a parking space like that, you think, well, it's probably a trap. There'll be a sign, you need an electron microscope to be able to read. That'll be on a lamppost 30 feet off the ground, around the corner, in another street. That actually happened to me. I got a ticket because I parked on Berkeley Square, and there was a sign on the other side of Berkeley Square, which is a huge square. It was around the corner. You couldn't see it from where I was. A sign said, "You must not park in this space." I think it was on January the 1st. That's as unfair as you could possibly imagine. I mean, you wouldn't expect it, right? You'd think that they would be on holiday. Apparently not. Found a parking space right outside the house, and in other good news, Simon Cowell got pelted with eggs. You see, this is it's all becoming clear now. There is enough good news to go around. Let's see if we can get another 2 hours, 5 minutes of it. Camberwell. Hello, James.
Hello.
James.
That chap, you just commented about the metal detector. The actual chap who used it, the hole is worth £100,000.
Really?
Yeah, and his quote, he would only been using a metal detector for 20 minutes. And he said he feels he peaked early.
He peaked early, yeah. I think he should give up immediately. Sell it on. You're never going to top that.
With good news and bad news.
Yeah, well, I suppose so. Does he get to keep it?
He does eventually, yes, yeah.
What do you mean eventually?
Yeah, I think he'll have to share it with the farmer whose field it was in.
Right. Even though the farmer did nothing to unearth it, he didn't know
it was there. Right. Nobody knew it was there, did they?
Well, I think he should keep all of it. What's it got to do with the farmer?
Well, I think you have to have permission. I think that's the way it normally works with treasure.
Right.
It's classified as treasure.
Treasure.
Well,
I like the sound of treasure. Hey, maybe I'll win 3 million. I lost £80 million last night on the Euro Millions. Can you believe that? I got one number. What do you get for one number? Nothing.
The same as me. I lost it as well.
Yeah. Well, so that's £160 million we've lost between us, Sir James. We can't afford this kind of money. This kind of outlay pouring out. I can't afford this. So it's about £3.7 million I'll win today. It's not 80 million, but it'll do for the for the short term. It'll keep me going until I win the big one.
Till the big one comes up.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. Okay, thanks, James. 0845 6060 973. And every time I buy the ticket, I do actually believe that I'm going to win.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I'm not making it up. I do.
I know.
I am disappointed quite severely. Yes, quite severely, because if I don't check the numbers during the show, I'll check them the next day, and you open your email account, and I'm staring at the things going up to see if there's going to be one from the National Lottery, and there never is.
No. And
it always comes as something of a surprise and a bit of a letdown.
You know the way to remedy that, don't you?
Don't buy one.
Indeed.
Well, I'm waiting to not buy one when the price goes up.
That's what. Well, I'll tell you what. The night that you don't, but you don't have the same numbers every week, do you?
No, that is a big mistake. Never do that.
Warning, well, why don't you?
Warning. Never pick the same numbers.
Why?
Take the lucky dip. It's not lucky at all.
How much have you won in total since you've been playing?
Oh, I think 20 quid.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how much have you spent?
Millions. Literally millions of pounds.
It's working out well for you then.
Yeah, very well, yeah. Is Woodford. Hello, Mark.
Hey, Nick, how are you again?
Good, thanks.
My youngest sister called me just over a week ago to tell me that I'm going to be an uncle.
You're going to be an uncle?
Yeah, it's the first grandchild in the family.
Really?
So, yeah, it's good news.
Are your parents beside themselves?
Yeah, yes, everybody's looking forward to it. It's really good. It's brilliant.
Are you going to be on baby caring duty?
No. Now you mention it, probably somewhere down the line, yes, yeah.
I would book yourself in for the period after which the wiping is over.
I'll bear that in mind.
Yeah, after about 15, 16 years, something like that, then an opening will appear in your diary. Before that, I wouldn't even think about it.
I will bear that in mind.
Yeah.
You mentioned about the lottery. You used to buy premium bonds.
Yeah.
Better chances of winning.
Well, I suppose so. No, are there? But is there a better chance of winning £80 million?
Well,
no.
You can use your money every month is put into the same draw.
And it would actually would benefit this country rather than the Canadian Teachers' Pension Fund, which are the people that benefit from us buying the lottery. Yeah. Although I suppose they do good work for charity. Yeah, there is that. Hey, I'm doing good work for charity, Mark.
Are you?
Yeah, well, just by buying a lottery ticket. I feel like an idiot doing it, but at least there is some good coming from it. See, more good news. Thanks very much, mate. 0845 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nica@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @lbc973. It's a good news show. Let's see if we can go through 3 hours in 1 year of good news. That's all I ask. Just 3 hours in 1 whole year. Can we do it?
On FM, online and digital radio, London's biggest conversation. This is Nation with Nick Abbott.
Well, the whole world's gone crazy.
Somebody standing on stage and pelting Simon Cowell with eggs. That's the best act they've ever had on that show. albumin dripping from his face. I wish I'd seen it now. I think I could have sat through the excruciating hour or 2 hours or 10 hours, or however long that show lasts, just to see somebody pelt Simon Cowell with eggs. That would have been excellent. 0845. I'll count that as good news. 0845 6060 973. Let's see if we can limp through this show by only concentrating on good news. How about this? Bankers may have to wait for their bonuses. Well, it's good-ish news. Bankers could face a 10-year wait for their bonuses under a proposal by a cross-party commission of MPs and peers. You see, one of the reasons that we are in this dire predicament is short-termism. It's the thing that will do for mankind. I've said this over and over again, and now I'm straying into bad news territory. But I'm just explaining it, that's all. Short-termism. Bankers, and they're no different from anybody else, everybody is just interested in their own, in maximising their own benefit in the short term. And now they could have a 10-year wait for their bonuses, which would encourage them to work for the long-term benefit of their company and therefore the society at large. The Parliamentary Commission on Banking Standards suggests blocking bankers' access to their bonuses for up to a decade, instead of them receiving them immediately or within a year or two in a draft report seen by a newspaper. The idea would make bankers think more carefully about the lasting effects of their work, and it could help the boards to reclaim bonuses if there are dire consequences from their employees' actions, like the entire world economy falling on its face. A long-awaited report from the Commission was sent to its members last week, and they will have until Monday to read it through, working over the weekend, with a final report due by the end of the month. Their final findings could be published as early as Thursday, reports the Financial Times, following a meeting of the commissioners on Monday and Tuesday. Members have been investigating the culture and ethics of the banking industry, hearing evidence from hundreds of witnesses. Well, that must have taken about 3 seconds to investigate the ethics part of that question. They investigated the culture and ethics of the banking industry. Culture, yes. Ethics, no. You can't investigate the ethics of the banking industry because they don't have any.
Correct.
Other recommendations will be suggestions for reforming the pay structure and overall pay levels, says the FT. And bankers may be fretful at such a circumstance. Well, don't worry, it'll never happen. They'll say something like, oh, well, we looked into it, and we found that banks would simply relocate. That old tale. So it would be detrimental to the city and the country if they all went to Singapore or Geneva, which they won't. But that'll be the excuse to bin this report. Why did they bother writing it in the first place? I bet being paid a lot of money had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Something like that. But here I am straying into bad news. It's potentially good news. The Archbishop of Canterbury, by the way, he said that he said to have asked whether the government's lack of will to break up the banks was a recipe for a repetition of the disasters of the last few years. In other words, we're all going to hell in a handcart, and we're about to make the same mistake again. Well, not about to. We are continuing to make the same mistake that's got us into this mess in the first place. I'm straying into bad news. This banking commission was set up in the wake of the LIBOR interest rate scandal, which cost Barclays £290 million in fines and UBS £940 million. In fines. In fines! £940 million in fines. Is there another field of human endeavour that you could be fined almost £1 billion and no one go to jail? I mean, crime on that level is just given a, oh, well, you got caught this time. We'll give you a little bit of a fine. Try not to get caught again. In April, the Commission issued a damning report into the running of the failed bank HBOS and recommended that the 3 men at the top be banned from the city for life. They singled out Sir James Crosby, its former chairman, as the architect of the strategy that set the course for disaster, and savaged his reckless incompetence as chief executive. And guess what his punishment will be? Sir James asked to be stripped of his knighthood for services to banking. Services to banking. Well, doesn't that just put a bow on it? Isn't that absolutely perfect? He became a sir for services to banking. The man that drove a perfectly good bank off a cliff. That says absolutely everything you need to know about the honour system in this country. Sir James offered to forfeit 30% of his annual pension every year until he dies. His annual pension is £580,000. So that'll teach him. For ruining a perfectly good bank, he'll have to get by on only £406,000 a year for the rest of his life. For just putting his feet up. What? Yes, I'm not making that up. That's not good news. But it's what you tend to stray into, because bad news is what excites people. It's what gets the blood boiling. Who's calling Waterloo? Hello, Liz.
Hi.
Liz.
Right, okay. I came in just about 30 minutes ago. So I'm talking about, I picked up on, you know, when you meet your heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got bad news.
Bad news?
And I know you like bad news. You continually tell us bad news.
Yeah. Well, it's most news is bad news.
Well, I mean, you know, forget about the bankers. But anyway, I met my hero, Helmut Newton.
Helmut Newton?
Yeah. Have you ever heard of him?
The photographer?
Yeah.
The photographer of, mostly, by and large, ladies in leather and high heels.
Not.
Yes.
No, you not quite got it right.
Kind of. BDSM. It's like bondage and sadomasochism, and it's all a bit pervy.
Not really.
A little bit, yeah.
No.
Mostly
I disagree with
pervy,
you there.
yes.
Disagree.
I bet if my glamorous assistant Amanda wants to get up Helmut Newton, just search for images under the name Helmut Newton, and we'll see what comes up first. I bet it's a woman in black leather.
Yeah. Amanda, you know, she's...
Right, so you met Helmut Newton, and?
Yes.
And?
He was the most boring chap I've ever met in my entire life.
Really?
And I said, no, this can't possibly be the case.
Well, now, we've just dialed up some pictures from Helmut Newton, and the very first one is of a lady in her underwear, like flashing. Second one is a lady bearing her boobs in the Grand Canal in Venice, and the third one is a woman on all fours on a bed with her boots on and her boobs out.
No. That's rubbish.
It's not rubbish, it's Helmut Newton. Here's a picture of four ladies buck naked.
Hold on a second.
Oh, there's David Bowie.
Hold on.
Yeah, David Bowie by Helmut Newton. Like I said, there's nothing pervy about it at all.
Rock and roll!
Yeah, so Helmut Newton was boring.
What I'm saying to you is, he photographed the most famous people. And ask Amanda to bring up Liz Taylor.
Bring up Liz Taylor? Well, you mean a picture of Liz Taylor by Helmut Newton?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it would look like Liz Taylor, most likely.
Well, you know, he did this brilliant photograph of her.
Yeah.
When she was old. And blah-de-blah and all that sort of stuff, yeah?
Yes.
So, forget about your, you know, this chains and...
Well, where did you meet him? Under what circumstance did you meet him, Liz?
Well, I knew his agent. And that's where it all started from.
Yeah, and you said that you're a big fan of his and you'd like to meet him, and and his agent arranged it, something like that.
Well, you know, there was he had an exhibition in London, first one ever.
Yes.
So, you know, he said, well...
Right, and so you went along and you had a glass of wine in your hand, and you introduced yourself, and then what?
Well, no, I didn't actually have a glass of wine in my hand. I was just looking for him.
2 pints of beer, one in each hand, yes.
Shut up.
And so you found him, and then what? You said, hello, my name's Liz from Waterloo, and he said...
No, I didn't live in Waterloo at that time. I lived actually in Highgate.
That's like pulling teeth, isn't it? So what happened, Liz?
What happened was I thought, who is this guy? I mean, he just looks like, you know...
Just another boring... Yeah, well, if you produce extraordinary work, it's entirely likely that you are a very ordinary person, because that is the outlet for your extraordinariness. Like some people, they are extraordinary, and
that's what's good about you, because you know that. You know that.
I know that what?
You know that people are brilliant at what they do are probably going to be bloody boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we've told the whole country. You and I ourselves.
We're united in that respect, and that respect only. All right, thanks a lot, Liz. Cheers, my dear. Never meet your hero. 0845 6060 973. It's good news, not even day. It's good news 3 hours. How many hours in a year? It's 7 times 52 times 24.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Let's go to a break and give people the answer after.
When we come back, we will do the mental arithmetic. Can you believe that?
No.
No, me either. Well, we'll write it down. We'll work it out with a pencil. Are you still ill?
I struggled in.
Oh, poor baby.
Thanks. Thanks for asking.
I sat in A&E this week for 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I did tune into a little bit of last night's show.
Oh, thanks for your support.
To see what was going on there without me. And I heard you saying...
3 hours in A&E. 3.5 hours in A&E.
Why?
On a rock-solid plastic wooden chair.
Plastic wooden chair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not plastic, it was wooden.
It was
rock-solid wooden chair. Oh, do give over. Talking about me here, not you.
That makes a change.
Yeah, and do I complain? I haven't even mentioned it on the air.
I heard you complaining quite a lot about it yesterday, and I only listened for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, continuously. But I'm just passing on the bad news.
I didn't hear why.
All we have is 3 hours in one whole year to pass on good news. And good news, in much the same way as bad news, is a random misfortune that happens to people you don't know. So good news is a random fortune that happens to people that you don't know. Unless it's to yourself. Have you ever met you? 0845 6060 973. I've been to paradise, but I've never been to me.
LBC.
Dude! By text and email, some good news stories. Good news, beautiful summer sunsets, it says this one. It is amazing how many sunsets end up really fantastically beautiful in London. You don't think of London as having great sunsets, probably because most people can't see them. Can you see the sunset from where you live, in your grotty, damp garret?
Yeah, I can actually.
Right, if you peek your head, you peek your head out the window and virtually launch yourself from your
from my hovel. Yeah, but I think generally when you talk about a sunset, it's when you're walking around, and even in London, I think pollution creates some of the most beautiful sunsets.
No, it's not pollution.
What is it?
It's
Oh, sorry, this is the good news show, isn't it? So it's not pollution. It's
it's clouds, isn't it?
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? All
no,
the
I don't know what you mean. The gatheth, the greenhouse gatheth.
And all the pollution,
that's got nothing to do with it. It's clouds. Stupid.
Don't call me stupid. Don't make me come in there.
Are you threatening me? 0845 6060 973. Good news stories. And I knew that when I started this, I was going to get almost nothing whatsoever. We've had, about an hour so far. And apart from one call on the board, I've completely... It's like I've squeezed the audience dry, like a sponge of their good news stories. And there weren't many to begin with. I knew this wasn't going to go anywhere. Predictable, eh? No one's interested in good news. They only want to revel in other people's misfortunes, which is what bad news is. Let's have a call in Camden. Hello, Lawrence.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks.
I love... what's that? I've been to paradise, but never been to me. Who's that? That was the Carpenters.
No, it was... I've been to paradise, but I can't remember. I bet Amanda wants to look that up straight away. She's got nothing else to do. Apart from moan and whine and pretend she's sick.
is she the one with the hoarse voice?
Yeah.
I mean, she's really like she's really quite endearing.
Don't encourage her. Hoarse voice, my eye.
Honestly, man, she sounds great with that horsey voice. Anyway,
God, here we go. He's going to be waiting for you outside the building, Amanda.
I was calling because I did meet my two heroes, and I was saying the good news was that they were just, they were everything I thought they'd be. They were the two most pig, ignorant, rudest people that I've ever come across.
Wow, really?
Absolutely. Which I kind of expected they would be.
Now, when you say ignorant, do you just mean they were rude and dismissive?
Completely. I mean, they were everything I thought they would be. I mean, they were just rude. I mean, they were just rude people. And I thought, the amount of money that I've spent on your record.
Now I can see on my screen who it is. So don't say who it is yet. Let's just paint the picture. So
okay. Well, basically, I mean, one of them I actually met him. He was in the street actually.
Really?
Yeah, in Madrid, in Spain. He was in the street, and I couldn't. It's not every day that you walk past a guy like that. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go and say hello. And went over, and I was basically just, I was told to go to hell.
So he wasn't having a good day then, eh?
Well, I don't think he's had a good day for years.
Well,
but basically, that was it.
And so, which one was that?
That was Leonard Cohen.
Leonard Cohen.
Basically,
the biggest miserablest in the history of songwriting. And what did you expect him to do? To break into a little happy dance?
No, I expected him to. I didn't expect him to kind of be as rude as he was, but I didn't expect him to break into a dance. You know what I mean? I really didn't. But the other one, who I just, obviously, I mean, it's almost like meeting Jesus or something. And I kind of saw him, and I just thought, you know what? I don't care what he says. I'm just going to go over and say hello.
And where did you see him?
I saw him inside it was in a concert, it was in a gig, but I managed to get back stage and got to.
Was it his own concert, or was he with some?
Yeah, no, it was his own concert.
Right, okay.
But I managed to get to shake hands with him, which was it was a great thing. But again, he was he wasn't very nice. He was just.
Now, maybe is it possible, Lawrence, that it's you, not them?
No, because I've met a couple of other dudes, because I've worked within that industry, and I've met a couple of other people, men and women, who were very nice.
Right.
Who appreciated the fact that I had, put a lot of money into their people like me, actually made them what they were.
Well, yes, that's true. Now, we haven't mentioned the other name, but well, go ahead and tell us who it was.
Yeah, of other people.
No, the fellow that you've just been speaking about. We heard about Leonard Cohen. You met him in the street, and he wasn't thrilled to see you. Who was the other fellow?
I told you, the other fellow was Dylan. It was Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Well, now you picked two people who are almost more famous for being grumpy than they are being musical greats. The only other one who's in that category would be Van Morrison.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't give Van Morrison the time of day either. If I did meet him.
I can be pretty sure, having never met the man, that he probably wouldn't give you the time of day either. That's my guess.
No.
Yeah.
Well, no, probably not. But I would like to meet the girl with the horsey voice. I mean, actually, I would be more interested in meeting her than I would in meeting Van Morrison.
Right. Well, you'd probably get a better reception. Yeah.
Probably.
As long as you don't,
what I mean is,
look like crazy. As long as you don't show up at the building with a wedding ring, you'll probably be okay.
I don't even know where the building is. But what I would say is, when you have no expectation to meet in your heroes, then you won't be disappointed. That's basically it.
But unfortunately, heroes come with massive amounts of expectation, because you build this person up into somebody from your own imagination, rather than who they are as a living and breathing a human being with all the attendant faults.
Well, let's take you, for example.
I'm the exception that proves the rule. I am fantastic in every way. You would agree with that, wouldn't you, Amanda?
I mean, let's take you, for example. I've called in a couple of times, and there's days when you are just miserable and you're just rude and you're just grumpy. Mm-hmm. And days like today where you're actually quite, you're nice and you're talkative and, so... I mean...
I'm complicated, Lawrence.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for that, mate. He met two of his heroes, and both of them had no desire to meet him. That's not good news, but it does fit. 0845 6060 973. Is that you who's got a bad story?
It is, but I'm still laughing about what Lawrence said to you about sometimes when he's rung you, you've been miserable, rude and grumpy.
I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What an idiot. Me, miserable, grumpy, rude. Wait, can you save that? You've got a terrible story about meeting someone that you're a big fan of. Yeah, is it me? I'll take that as a no. Wow. I'm so glad you're back. And I really mean that. Some texts and emails. Good news, Nick, we've won the cricket, says John. Oh, isn't that great?
Boring!
Cricket. I graduated from university this week, thus drawing a line under my academic career. I'm so pleased it's over, says Liz. I can remember vividly the day that I drew a line under my academic career. Came out of my last exam with everybody else, and we sat on the lawn outside, the one patch of grass that existed in Brunel University, which, to the naked eye, looks like a chemicals factory. It's hideous. But there was just a bit of a lawn outside the main lecture centre there where we took our last exam. And I delighted in, and it felt really odd at the time, tearing up my papers, tearing up the scribbled notes and I learnt absolutely nothing when I was at university, at all, by which I mean at all, other than always put yourself in the recovery position if you go to bed hammered. Because then you will do as I did and throw up on the pillow rather than choke on your own vomit. What? I'm just...
Really?
Well, I'm just trying to help. Am I helping yet? That's the only thing I learned at university. Don't choke on your own vomit. Well, it's an important life lesson. And so I tore up the notes, my hastily scribbled notes during lectures, and that's all I did. I went to lectures and I just wrote notes, and then never looked at them again. But it was the culmination of my knowledge of my 4 years at that institution. And then I tore them up and I threw them away, and it felt really odd. I felt as though, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. But what on earth am I going to do with them now? And I put them in the bin, and it felt like I was leaving my passport behind, or something really, my house keys, something really important. And I have never needed them since. Ask me anything about psychology, and I won't be able to tell you. 0845 6060 973. We've already started to falter. It was only an hour and a half in. Good news, that's what I'm after. A good news story. Just one, that's all. 0845 6060 973. Nick Abbott, LBC 97.3, the time 11:30.
0973. Text 84850. Tweet at LBC 973. This is London's biggest conversation with Nick Abbott.
What's he got to be depressed about?
The news. It's always depressing. Revelling in other people's misfortune, that's what most of the news is. You don't know who these people are, and that their life has taken a bad turn is first of all, it's no business of ours, and it's not really affecting us in one way or the other, but that is what most of the news is. We're revelling in other people's misfortunes, taking a holiday in other people's misery.
Rock and roll!
0845 6060 973. Oh, I forgot to do the maths. 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, and 24 hours in every day. Multiply that all together, and what do you get? A big number. Oh, I better got that right.
Correct.
A big number. A number much, much bigger than 3. Just 3 hours in 1 year. Let's see if we can fill it with good news. I bet we can't. Here's Gospel Oak. Hello, Moira.
Hello.
Moira.
You were looking for material. Some time ago, a cousin of mine rang me up and ordered me to buy a book by a man called Turtle Bunbury.
Turtle Bunbury?
Uh-huh.
Are you making that name up?
No.
Okay.
I never believed him. He rang me up several times and I refused to go to a bookshop to be made a fool of.
Yeah.
Today I discovered that Turtle Bunbury is a historian and he actually exists. It's I was reading a book today, Wogan's Island. There was a film that went with it. And Mr. Wogan says, I'm just looking to the page, he was speaking with the historian, the splendidly named Turtle Bunbury, whom I spoke to about the brandy rations of the Jacobites at the Battle of the Boyne. So it would appear that Mr. Bunbury exists. And do you get the Wildian reference as well? Wilds played the importance of being earnest. Algernon and Jack, one of them was used his own name in town and was a Bunbury in the country.
No, I never read it and I haven't seen it.
Oh, you should see it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very good lot.
I'll put it on my list.
Yeah. But check Mr. Bunbury on the web.
Mr. Bunbury, I will...
Mr. Turtle Bunbury.
Turtle Bunbury. It's a name I'll never forget. Thanks a lot, Moira.
All right.
0845 6060 973. Regarding the story about the parks, which the Daily Mail managed to make into a bad story, how they managed to twist it around and turn young people going to the park into a bad thing is beyond me. But they did, and it's and this message on that subject says, "Hello, Nick. Many young people are going to the parks because they're skint, and parks are free," says Steve. Perhaps. My good news, says this one, my friends and I walked 10 miles round Leeds Castle in Kent today and raised over £1,000 for breast cancer care. A fantastic day, says Paula in SW16. Well done, Paula. Good news, an Iowa woman celebrated her 34th birthday with 34 acts of kindness. How about you giving me an act of kindness?
No.
Just one. Give us a smile. It says, I've got some good news. My boyfriend and I went to watch the fireworks last night and we held hands without anybody making homophobic remarks or throwing anything at us. It was lovely, says Anthony. Well, they were watching fireworks. Their attention was elsewhere. I don't think that's a great step forward. They were busy watching something else. But you can take good news wherever you find it. Sure, why not? Here's Enfield. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hello, Nick.
Elizabeth.
Hello, I hope you're feeling better after A&E, your experience.
See, that's exactly what you should be doing, Amanda.
I've already asked you about that.
See the attitude. Very aggressive.
Oh, well, I'm asking. I hope you feel better, whatever it was. Anyway...
It was my eyeball. I did a very stupid thing.
Oh, Nick, what did you do to your eye? I've been so worried.
Yeah. You see, you could learn a lot, Amanda.
Yeah.
From
I've already
Elizabeth
asked you.
here.
You didn't even ask me if I was feeling better.
Yeah, but did you hear the way
when
that
you
she
saw me
asked
earlier.
me? She was soothing me. It was almost as though she was stroking my hair when she asked me. Oh,
do you want me
that.
to stroke your hair?
No, but it sounds as though you care. I did a stupid thing. And I knew that I was in danger, and I knew that I should have made. I should have gone to lengths to avoid this accident.
Yes.
But I carried on doing the stupid thing anyway.
It was something you were going to do, and then you thought, I mustn't do this, but you did it anyway.
I carried on and did it anyway, yeah.
I did something like that when I was 7 years old.
Well, we're talking about me.
We are, yes, sorry, I was just trying to relate.
What did you do?
What did I do? When I was 7 years old, I was riding my tricycle. This is ridiculous. I was riding my tricycle around the front garden, and I knew that if I went too fast, I would fall over and go straight into a rose bush we had.
Yeah.
And I did. I just couldn't stop myself. I thought, I've got to go faster. And to this day, I've still got a little mark on my hand where the thorn went into
Oh.
it. You see, so I do understand, Nick, and I'm very
Yeah.
sorry to hear about your eye, and whatever you did, it was stupid. I hope you won't do it again.
Well, this is not a mistake I'm going to make again. And
No.
I'll just pass this information on, because maybe I'll save someone's sight.
You may do that.
Or I might save them a trip to the A&E.
Oh, that's not a good experience today.
No, never is. No.
No, I hope you didn't have to wait too long.
3.5 hours.
Oh, my God, that's too long.
Well, you know what? I wrote a blog about it, which you can find on lbc.co.uk.
Yes,
It's in the blog.
I will read
It's in the blog section.
I will read that, Nick.
Warning! Never operate a pressure washer without putting some sort of eye protection on first.
Safety goggles.
Exactly.
Yes.
I was hosing down the outside space with a pressure washer.
Uh-huh.
And I was getting a lot of splashback in my face, and I thought maybe I should put like a pair of sunglasses on or something like that.
Yeah, so you nearly saved yourself
Yeah.
from A&E, yeah.
And I thought, no, I'll just carry on. And within about 10 seconds, I'd got, it must have been a bit of concrete or stone or something like that flew into my eye. It felt like I had the Rock of Gibraltar sticking out my face, Elizabeth.
Oh, the pain. It must have been incredible.
So I went into the kitchen and I tried to sluice out my eye, with water, and it wouldn't shift.
No.
And it was right in the middle, the iris, right where you peep out of your peeper.
Oh, it scratched the cornea. It scratched the surface of the eye.
No, it was lodged in there. It was actually stuck to the front of my orb. Can you believe that?
No, I can't. I've never heard of this happening to
I've
anyone.
never heard of it happen before. Because you get things in your eye and you just rinse them out, right?
You might get a bit of grit or
Yeah.
something, and it scratches it. And
Exactly.
Yeah.
This did not move. It was actually stuck in there.
How big was this piece of concrete?
It was about 3 foot by 6.
Yes, I understand.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
It was actually a minuscule speck, but you don't need a very big speck to...
No, because it's the actual feeling of it.
Well, it's not the feeling, it's the sight. Well, the feeling wasn't that great, but the sight was the problem, because that's the part of the eye that you look out of, and it was lodged right on it.
Yes, yes.
And so I thought, oh, blooming heck, right, that's that day gone. I've got to go to A&E. And so we got driven to A&E, and we found a parking space, like I said before, almost literally 10 yards from the hospital entrance. I couldn't believe it. And this was just off Marylebone Road, right in London's fashionable Marylebone district.
Yes, I know.
I thought that we would have to park in, like, Shepherd's Bush and walk.
Oh, well, the other side of that's
Yeah.
the other side, isn't it? Yeah.
Or Kent or somewhere.
I hope when whoever saw you managed to extract that little bit of concrete.
Went
very, very
straight to the eye hospital, didn't dilly-dally and go to an ordinary A&E, because I knew that if I went to ordinary A&E, I'd have to sit in a plastic chair for 6 hours, and then they'd tell me to go to an eye hospital.
That's very true.
Yeah, so I went straight there to Western Eye Hospital in Marylebone, and they were completely excellent in every regard.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And how's your eye now?
It feels a little bit sore, but at least I can see out of it.
Well, I'm very glad to hear that.
See? Now, you should learn a lot of lessons here, Amanda.
Sorry, busy.
Busy. Not even paying attention.
Oh. Anyway, I rang up about my childhood hero who I met in 1989.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, in my days when I used to ride my tricycle, maybe when I was a little bit older, when I was 8, I used to like the Monkees. I was a big Monkee fan.
Yeah.
I was. Really.
Everybody was. Hey, hey, we're the Monkees.
Absolutely. And my favourite Monkee was Mickey Dolenz, because I just thought he was really...
Funny
and wacky, and I loved all the songs and everything. And I thought, gosh, all these years later, this was in 1989, when I was grown up, they had a reunion concert on their tour here in England, and
I remember
it happened to be in Cambridge. I thought, well, I'll go to the one in Cambridge. It'll be a smaller venue than if I was to see them in London. So it was at the Corn Exchange in Cambridge. So I went there, and I remember going round the back where the stage door was, and I thought, well, I'll just stand here just in case, they happen to come this way, because it's the way in. And this car drew up, and I think it was a Jaguar. And it was McKee himself driving the car, and he gets out the car, and there's hardly anybody there. And in the 60s, Nick, you can imagine the screaming millions.
Oh, yeah, it would be sort of like the Beatles.
Yeah, exactly. And yet there was me and one other person. And I just went up to him and I said, "Are you Mickey Dolenz?" Which was a bit of a stupid question. Of course he was. And he said, "Sure I am," because he's got quite a high voice. And I said, "Oh, I've waited 22 years for this moment," which was the most dumb thing to say. I wouldn't say that now. But I did get a photograph of me with him. I got the other chap who was standing there to take a picture on my camera. And I got his autograph, and he was very nice, but he didn't say very much, obviously, because he had to get in to do his show. But the only thing I remember is that he had a streaming cold.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I thought, oh, my God, my childhood hero is human.
Well, it's nice that it was actually pleasant, because often if people have a wacky stage act, or they're funny, or they make their living from being amusing, then they're the most awful, dreadful, depressing, rude people.
Yeah.
The complete opposite of why you like them in the first place.
Well, you can't always tell because they're presenting a public image, aren't they?
Exactly.
So you wouldn't know what the real person was like. But I have to say that Mickey did come across as very nice.
Right. Well, that sounds like good news to me.
Absolutely. And one more thing before I go, I also threw all my university notes away because I didn't see any point in keeping them.
No.
But I waited 2 years.
Really?
Just in case.
Well, yeah, I felt like I was doing a very bad thing.
Well, all that trouble, all those hours spent down the university library, all those notes, all the essays and everything. And I thought, why am I doing this? I could use this space for storing other things, And so there came the day when I thought, I'm never going to need these anymore.
What did you study?
I did geography.
And have you ever used it since?
No.
No.
No, because I ended up, when I did do teaching in the 80s, I was teaching English, which wasn't the subject of my degree. But it was my best subject at school because I loved the arts and everything. But, all the stuff I actually did then is obsolete now anyway because the world has changed a lot.
What, geography?
Well, I don't mean where things are on the planet, that kind of geography. I mean,
how old are you? Like a million years? Continental plates have shifted significantly since you graduated. Are you joking?
My God, there could be earthquakes, volcanoes. No, I'm talking about, my speciality when I did my dissertation. I hate to say this, but it was shopping, because I liked shopping. And I
shopping?
Did shopping centres and retail geography.
What's that got to do with geography?
It was just like, I did a questionnaire here in Enfield, and I went out in the streets and I asked people if we had a Marks and Spencer here, would they go shopping there, and that kind of thing.
I restate my question. Mm-hmm. What's that got to do with geography?
Nothing much, really. It was what we were doing at the time. It was my lecturer. He was very into economic geography, and in his mind it was to do with retail, because it was at the time, you've got to remember this was like a few years back now, and shopping centres like Brent Cross were only just coming into this country, so it was a big thing to have a shop. Now, of course, they're everywhere and no one takes any notice of them except to go shopping in them. But at the time, it was, big news.
I know nothing about geography, but that seems like such a tenuous link. The sighting of a shopping centre comes under the subject of geography.
Yeah, retail geography, they called it.
What did you get, a 2-1, 2-2 first?
No, I got a 2-2, and I don't care if the whole world knows, because I don't do anything related to that anymore.
Right. Well, I got a 2-2 in psychology, and I think you...
All the best people get a 2-2, Nick.
Well, I think you're quite right there. If you get a first, then that means either you are a raving genius or you've done nothing else at university other than study.
Exactly, and you haven't lived a full-rounded university life.
Correct.
Because all you do is live in the library.
Yeah, if you get a 2-2, that means that you have an aptitude for your chosen subject,
yes,
but also that you did way too much work and didn't have enough fun. If you got a 2-2, that means you did nothing at all, no work of any kind,
Nick,
and you spent most of your time drunk.
Well, in my case, I was at Swansea University, and I spent a lot of the time on the beach because it was so nice there.
Right. See, that sounds like a 2-2. And if you get a third, then you need to take a long look at yourself.
Absolutely.
Or you just chose the wrong subject. Elizabeth, thanks a lot.
Okay, then.
Cheers, my dear. 0845 6060 973. Some texts and emails. Had a letter from my bank regarding PPIs, says this one. They're sending me a cheque for 500 quid. That's good news, says Peppy in Kent. No joke. A bank's actually sending letters out now, because for the longest while you had to ask them for your money back. Are they now required to send you a letter?
No, I think Peppy probably went through the procedure of applying for his PPI, and then the bank had to admit that they owed him the money.
I can't be bothered
very much that they offered it up.
I can't be bothered to go through the PPI procedure.
I'm going to have to. I keep forgetting to do it, and I keep.
But did you have? Do you?
Oh yes.
You bought PPI.
I didn't. I was missold PPI.
You're just saying that, though, aren't you?
No, I'm not. My credit card.
You knew what you were getting into.
No, not at all. Because it just ended up. I remember looking at my statement, and it just suddenly appeared that I was. excuse me. That I was being charged this insurance, and I never signed anything. I never took anything out, and I just kind of let it go. And since all this came out, I thought, well, that happened to me.
Well, if you apply for it, if you apply and you get a cheque, we'll split it 50-50. How does that sound?
I'll think about that, but I probably won't be telling you should I get a cheque.
Right.
I might just keep that information to myself. But then if I go on a long holiday...
Then I'll know.
Then it speaks for itself, really.
That doesn't sound like good news. Not to me.
What, if I go on a long holiday?
Yeah, well, don't share your winnings with me. If you, do you have to actually find out, or can you just say, do you owe me any money?
What I have to do is, see, this is the thing that's been holding me up. I've got to send a cheque for £1, and it took me ages to get a chequebook through my bank for some reason, and that £1 means that I can buy my initial agreement and all the paperwork.
Oh, so you got to do paperwork?
Well, I've just got to look through it.
Oh, forget it. I can't be bothered with all of
You
that.
don't know how much you're going to get for doing it, though, do you?
Well, yeah, but I don't want to.
I tell you what.
Can't they just give me my money?
I tell you what, Nick. Let me be your financial advisor.
Yes.
And let me do all the work.
Yes.
On your behalf.
Yes.
And my rates are very, very reasonable.
Really?
Yeah.
That
60-40 in my favour.
That sounds an excellent idea.
Yeah, in my favour.
Yeah. 0845. What good news. Thank you. She is out of her mind. She's probably on drugs, like me, that you've got to keep in the fridge. Yes?
That's libellous, what you just said.
Well, you must be on some sort of prescription medication.
What makes you think that?
Well, you got a cough. You took yesterday off sick.
Yeah, but I'm fighting it myself with my own...
Oh, what a trooper.
I think that if you keep taking things, then you're gonna become immune to
I'm immune to your consultations, etc. and so on. Oh, I went to the David Bowie exhibition at the V&A this week. That was double fantastic.
Rock and roll!
I loved it. It was one of the best exhibitions I've ever... I spent 2.5 hours in there, almost as long as I spent sitting in A&E. I'll tell you which I preferred. If you can get tickets to go and see the Bowie exhibition at the V&A, then you should rush there immediately, if not sooner. I think they're all sold out. They may have day tickets, but you have to get there at a very un-rock-and-roll time of 10 in the morning. But to check before you go, it's definitely worth it. It's called in Roehampton. Hello, Laura.
Hello, love.
Laura.
I just want to give you two pieces of good news. I took part in the lobby of Parliament gallery the other day, and I had one speaker from the Labour Party, Billy Band, and one person from the Conservative Party. She's Minister for Overseas Affairs, I can't remember her name. I know that the pair of them gave the same response to my question, which was concerning financial transparency and tax evasion of big firms.
Yeah.
And both of them spoke from the heart and very, very well-informed replies to my questions. And they were from opposing parties, two MPs, for whom now I have the greatest respect and who've placed me in an awful dilemma as to which one I should vote for in the coming election.
So your question was what?
Well, my question was, and it was part of CAFOD's lobbying for greater help to the hungry and better nutrition for the world's hungry, including our own, of course, here in the British Isles.
Yeah.
You know,
But what was your question?
My question was what they intended to do about world hunger and world lack of nutrition and financial evasion by the big companies.
Right.
And lack of transparency in all their dealings, really.
Now, I don't wish to insert a note of negativity into this call, but I think I'm going to. Weren't you just a little bit suspicious that that two people from opposing parties said the exact same thing in answer to your question?
Well, not really, no, because they spoke from the heart, and Ed Miliband looked most uncomfortable before he addressed the...
No, that's just the way his face falls.
Well, poor lad, I really felt very sorry for him before he answered the question, but he did answer it very satisfactorily, and so did the Conservative member. I can't remember her name, Julie somebody. Yeah. She's the Minister for Overseas Affairs, Overseas Development, and she's been on television this evening. Julie Greener is her name. And anyway, I was really heartened by the exact same replies from both parties. When you asked was I suspicious, no, I wasn't, because they came over as really concerned and very, very well informed on both counts, both the tax evasion and the need for greater financial transparency in multinational economics.
So you came away from a personal interaction with two of our elected representatives in a good frame of mind.
I did indeed. I came away greatly heartened by their response from opposing parties, and as I say, it's left me in a dilemma now as to which party I'll vote for in the next election.
Well, that's a good problem to be saddled with.
Well, it's a major problem, yes, it is. But a very happy problem, yes.
Yeah. Well, what good news.
That's very good news, yes.
Thanks, Laura.
Good night, love.
0845. Can you believe it? I am stunned. Interacting with two of our elected politicians and actually coming away feeling positive about it. You believe that?
No.
0845 6060 973. And I was just barely trying to control myself. I only just managed to do it. And didn't pour scorn or negativity all over that last call. Because my natural instinct is to say, well, they would say that, wouldn't they? And they just, come out with the old flannel that they had learnt off pat, parrot fashion, just before they, appeared. Maybe they actually meant it. Let's assume that they did. Good news, you see? Hey, that's practically 2 hours down and only one to go. How many hours in a year? Have we worked this out yet?
Oh, I thought you read it out earlier. I had it on the screen. It was 8,000...
yes.
Oh, I took it off.
8,000...
Hang on,
odd.
1 sec. About 8,500.
8,000... Let's say £8,500. How many?
I have to get the...
It doesn't matter. Let's say 8,500.
Doesn't matter. I did the maths.
Oh, please. 8,500. 8,500 hours in a year. All I'm asking is for 3 of those to be filled with good news stories, not the constant whining and moaning that constitutes the rest of the year. Now, is that actually possible? Let's break it down into minutes. How many minutes in a year? All I'm asking for is another 60 to be full of positivity. Will that actually pan out? Or will we revert to type? Let's find out. 0845 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And Twitch tweet @lbc973.
Abbot.
Orky/dorky.
I wish it was. I'd like my own £100 million, £200, £300 million building. It's the best building of its size in London, no question. And it was designed by Vignoli or something like that. I don't know. I looked it up once. Who cares? There it is, looking beautiful. Good news stories, 0845 6060 973. Can I get this story about the world hunger that was just in the news? World hunger and water and all of that. There's a good news story right on the top of the news bulletin. Here's a good news story. You don't get the flu from going on the tube. A new survey by the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine has found that catching public transport does not increase your risk of getting the flu. Researchers who surveyed 6,000 people found that actually fewer people who caught public transport got ill than if they commuted in another way. But they did find that for those who did feel ill, catching the bus or the train could make them feel worse. Well, yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter how you feel before getting on. Catching a bus or train is bound to make you feel worse. The findings contradict the commonly held belief that tubes, train carriages and buses are the perfect place for disease to spread. Filled with coughing and spluttering commuters, it's as though germs... it's through that... what? Filled with coughing and spluttering commuters, it is through that germs can easily infect other travellers. That doesn't make sense. Filled with coughing and spluttering commuters, that sounds like you, Amanda. Coughing and spluttering commuters, yes?
When I was on the tube on Thursday, every single person was sniffing.
Yeah.
And really annoyingly. But no, just going...
Oh, you could have just said sniffing. You didn't have to demonstrate it for us. I feel violated. Yes?
You were talking about something far worse earlier.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were, about what can happen in your sleep.
Yes, I said you could choke on your own vomit, not on other people's.
Oh, well, you just did.
I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to help. Am I helping yet?
No.
Tube trains are filled with coughing and spluttering commuters. And it is through that germs can easily infect other travellers, especially if you have sex with them. However, Dr. Alma and Dr. Ken, experts on infectious disease at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, said their results dispelled this concept. Separate research released last year may help to explain why commuters on public transport are exposed to more germs, so build up greater immunity. Oh, it's that. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. In London, where most people take public transport, the level of infection was no higher than elsewhere, and was in fact actually slightly lower. Now, that is a surprise, because I feel every time I get on the tube that I'm going to catch something. Never touch anything on the tube, or anyone for that matter. They also found evidence that dispelled the idea of man flu, where men claim to suffer worse symptoms than their female counterparts. Now, it's not what you might think. It's actually the opposite of what you might think. Now, I know where your mind is going. They found that evidence that dispelled the idea of man flu, where men claim to suffer worse symptoms than their female counterparts. Now, you're thinking, aha, found out. Men do not suffer worse. But that's not what this story is. In fact, women who had symptoms reported slightly worse health scores than men who had the same symptoms. So, in other words, there is no such thing as man flu, where men exaggerate the nature of their illnesses. It's actually women who do that. Guilty! How do you feel, Amanda?
What? Sorry?
Bemused, I think, is the answer to that question. Here's a call in Fleet. Hello, Peter.
Hello, Nick. Your show is nearly always very entertaining.
Nearly always?
Yeah, there's the odd moment where it might be a touch boring. Occasionally, not very often, though. But
is this you trying to pass on a compliment?
Yes.
You're rubbish at this.
Well, you talking about the tubes. You can catch bed bugs on the London Underground.
You can catch pubic lice. We should all do our bit to protect pubic lice,
especially in the East End of London.
Well, they're an endangered species, apparently.
All these people that work in Canary Wharf, they probably
riddled with it. Yeah.
I feel sorry for them, don't you?
You can virtually see them bouncing off them.
But never mind. They're earning about
£1 million
£200,000
a year.
compensation for it.
Anyway.
The good news story, I think, is that we haven't got Tony Blair as Prime Minister anymore.
That's your good news story?
Yes. Yeah, well, it is, it's a bonus, isn't it, really? Because he was a disaster, wasn't he? He promised everything and delivered...
and we voted for him over and over and over again.
Yeah, I got suckered by him.
Yeah.
First time, yeah.
Well, you, me and everyone I know.
Yeah.
And things could only get better. That's what they said.
Well, now he's gone, they can only get better.
Exactly right,
Yeah.
And they got better for him, too.
Oh, yeah, he's a multi-millionaire now, of course, yeah. And his wife, and the legal profession, of course.
Yeah, and they're doing a lot of good work for charity.
Oh, there might be a grain of truth in that, actually, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. More than a grain. Bigger than the grain that they removed from my eyeball. All right, thanks a lot, Peter. 0845 6060 973. I'm right about that. Didn't you hear that story about...
No, do not repeat that story. I think we all...
There's this scientist who was in the news. Who was in the news today, and he said that we shouldn't just be trying to protect endangered species that are cute. I'm not making this up. And I've read this story in several other places as well. Just recently, is that the pandas are always the thing that people want to protect, right? We want to protect the panda, or.
And they do nothing to help themselves.
Pandas are stupid.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to commit suicide.
Well, I think they are.
They only eat one thing that is found in one particular place on Earth, and it's so unnutritious that they have to eat it constantly, day and night. How stupid is that? It's like they're trying to become extinct. But that's what people get upset about, and, the snow leopard, and cute things that essentially children want as stuffed toys, right? Well, there are also many species that are endangered that are ugly. That's the thrust of this scientist's argument, and that we should actually be trying to protect those too. And many of them are insects, and many of them are amphibious, horrible-looking creatures, and many of them are deep-sea fishes, and all the rest of it. And one of them are pubic lice. I'm not making this up.
Well, and he's worried that they're going to die out.
Yeah, they're dying out because people are. They're shaving themselves in intimate areas.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, he could bring out a benefit record or something. He could do a fun run or a skydive, and just set up one of those Just Giving pages, a Facebook page, and you can like it.
Yeah, we could adopt a louse. Yeah.
Maybe close up under the microscope. They are quite cute, and you could produce a cuddly toy.
Have you ever seen one close up under a microscope? Have you ever seen a picture of one that's blown up?
Why, have you?
Well, yeah, it was in the in the paper accompanying the story that I'm talking about.
Okay, well, I'll obviously...
No, please, don't Google it. I don't want to see it on the screen that I've got in front of me. Honestly, I know what they look like. I don't want to see a picture of one.
What's happening to this show?
Well, I'm not in charge of this show. It's your fault. 0845 6060 973. Here is Stratford. Hello, Susan.
Hello.
Susan.
Or hello there, as people talk to you.
Yeah, hello there.
Yes, hello there. I'm coming on to say you got the maths wrong. It was 8,736.
8,736 hours in a year. I'll assume that's right.
Yeah. And I got a 2-1 at university, so I obviously...
What did you study? What did you study?
Education, teaching of maths, and I did a bit of environmental studies, which was exciting. I liked it.
That sounds like the most wishy-washy degree I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Say that combination again?
It took me 2 goes to get it.
And there's you parading your 2-1 in front of me.
Yeah, well, And I had a good experience in accident and emergency.
Did you?
I was in and out within an hour and a half.
Wow. How'd you manage that?
Well, I think they thought I might have lockjaw, so you are fast-tracked. So,
what's lockjaw?
Well, it's incurable, actually. I cut myself with some rusty metal, so, you know, if it gets in the bloodstream, it locks the jaw and you don't eat.
Really? That doesn't sound good.
And I thought you should have gone to Moorfield. Your experience might have been quicker.
Well,
that's the eye hospital in London, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but there's also the Western Eye Hospital.
Well, I've never heard of that one.
Well, I had never heard of it either, but it was nearer to where I was.
Yeah, okay. And I'm getting on with lots of cleaning and enjoying it, and I'll leave you by saying, if you ever want a cleaner, book me.
I absolutely will not do that, but thanks for the offer, Susan.
Okay, bye.
08 for a midnight cleaner? No. 0845 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @lbc973. Just 45 minutes to go of 1 hour in 8,700 or however many it was hours of the year. That's all I'm asking for. 45 minutes of 1 hour out of 8,700 in the year to concentrate on good news. Can it be done? We'll find out.
LBC. Text 84850. Tweet at LBC973. This is London's biggest conversation with Nick Abbott.
Would you mind telling me what this is all about?
It's about a good news, well, it's not a good news week, it's not even a good news day, it's just a good news 3 hours, or good news 44 minutes. That's all I ask. Can we manage it? 0845 6060 973. Here's good news. Consumer confidence is up. Now, as to why it's up, nobody really has any idea, because there's nothing good to point in the direction that consumers should be less gloomy, but that is apparently what they are. Consumers are becoming less gloomy about the economy and the state of their own finances amid signs that the outlook for growth has started to improve. Can you believe that?
No.
The monthly survey from the polling group GFK recorded a 5-point jump in its confidence barometer in May. Confidence. They've got a confidence barometer. This confidence barometer continued its upward trend since the turn of the year. People are feeling HAPPY-er. Consumer incomes remain under pressure at a time when prices are rising more rapidly than earnings. But the past month saw fears of a triple-dip recession dispelled by the release of the Office for National Statistics figures showing the economy had grown by 0.3% in the first quarter. Not massively good news, but positive by just a margin. Nick Moon, a name I am not making up, Managing Director of Social Research at GFK, said that while consumers were hardly confident, there was real evidence that they were moving out of the feeling of despondency that the country has been mired in for the last year or so. He said that the current level of consumer confidence was minus 22, 7 points higher than in any month of 2012. Wait a minute, this is not good news. This is just less bad news. The current level of consumer confidence, minus 22. In other words, I think that's achieved by, if you ask 100 people whether they're confident or not, then if it's 50, then that's even Stevens. 50 confident, 50 not confident, then that's a 0. If it's 60 not confident and 40 confident, then I think that's minus 10. Do you get what I'm saying? So minus 22. That's not good. He says, but before we get too carried away, we should note that even after this rise, the index is still lower than it was for the whole of 2010, and massively worse than it was for the entire decade from 1997 to 2007. We may be climbing out of the pit of economic pessimism, but there's a long way to go until the public becomes neutral, let alone positive. So, like I said, that's not a good news story. That's a less bad news story. Here's a call in Ealing. Hello, Emmanuel.
Hi, Nick. I'm your big fan. I'm listening to you all the time in the weekends.
Emmanuel, good to hear.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, the good news, I've got good news for you.
Yeah.
It's 1,440 minutes a day, 8,766 hours a year, and 525,960 minutes in 1 year. And then the bad news is, I always hear kids, they always say, my mom. We, the men, are we out of their life?
I missed that last bit. Say what?
kids in this country, they always, you hear them, they say, my mom. It's very rare you have kids saying my dad. What's wrong with we, their fathers? What's wrong with us?
What's wrong with their dads? Well,
Yeah.
where do we begin, Emmanuel? Let's make a list.
I don't know where we start.
Well, kids automatically go to their mums. That's just what kids do.
So what have we done any wrong to be their dad? Why not say, at least sometimes they say, my dad.
Well,
But I've never heard
if
that.
the kids don't say, if the kids don't rush to their father, then I blame the father. Sorry to break the news to you, Emmanuel, but it's your fault.
It's my fault.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, mate. 0845 6060 973. Some good news. Have I got any good news? How about Elton John? Do you want a story about Elton John? It's neither good nor bad. Well, I suppose it's good because he's upsetting the right people. Elton John has been told to lose his flamboyant stage costumes for an upcoming concert in Russia or face protest by anti-gay campaigners. The singer, who will play in the southern city of Krasnodar next month, has been told by a communist group that his usual outfits are homosexual propaganda and could breach local laws where promoting homosexuality is a criminal offence. I don't believe it. It's a lie. Elton John's not gay, and neither is his boyfriend. The country's Communists of Russia party has instead suggested that the 66-year-old performer should wear more respectable traditional Cossack clothes for his concert. Oh, don't tempt him. I mean, that's a red rag to a bull, that is. I see a luminous pink Cossack cloak of feathers and fur over a neoprene catsuit that doesn't quite come in his size. I bet you've got a mental image of that right now. Can you conjure that up to the forefront of your mind? What does it look like? Exactly. Local party leader of the Communist Party of Russia, the Communists of Russia Party, Mikhail Abramyan, recommended that Elton don a knee-length kaftan, knee-high leather boots, and a fur hat. That outfit again, a knee-length kaftan, knee-high leather boots, and a fur hat. And nothing else. He said it would be more respectable. We have suggested it to the promoters and hope that he will wear it. This is according to Russian news agency RIA Novosti. The communist group leader says it's 350 members. Wait a minute, 350 members? Are they just a bunch of nutters? I thought that this was the Communist Party of Russia. Oh, what a disappointment. These are just crazy people, Amanda. I was beginning to take them seriously just for a moment there. The communist group leader said his 350 members were ready to protest in the streets if the singer did not dress appropriately. Well, I'll get your gloves on, mate, because you're going to be out there. I don't think Elton John does appropriate. He said promoting homosexuality is an offence in several Russian regions, including Krasnodar, St. Petersburg, and Novosibirsk. There's no such place. Last year, Madonna was sued by Russian anti-gay groups for £7 million for violating local laws after they claimed her concert in St. Petersburg, in which she spoke in favour of gay rights, promoted homosexuality. The lawsuit was later thrown out of court. And the counsel for the prosecution said... Kensal Rise... See, it's not really good news, but it kind of is. There's only 350 of them. Kensal Rise, hello. Happy. Is your name Happy?
Yeah, my name is Happy, and I have to say that's made me even happier, especially as I'm wearing a knee-length kaftan and knee-high leather boots.
I bet you look fantastic.
Well, I'm doing it in support of my gay brothers.
Right.
Well, listen, I think the good news is that all of the bad news that we're fed, well, probably about 91% of it is lies. So that's got to be good news. I mean, the story you just brought up, which is a corker, that, you know, that there's slightly more confidence. What does that mean? What can that possibly possibly mean?
Oh, you mean consumer confidence is slightly up? Yeah.
It's slightly up, but what does consumer confidence mean, full stop? I mean, do you go to Marks and Spencer's to buy a pair of socks feeling slightly nervous, not very confident about the purchase? I mean, it's absolute insanity, but we keep being fed it so that we believe it. And as long as we believe it, then everybody will feel. I mean, I love it when it's, okay, right, billions of pounds have been wiped off the stock market because of panic.
Yes.
I mean, you wouldn't employ a cleaner that panicked. I mean, the first thing in a job interview is like, do you panic? Well, then, in fact, maybe I won't actually put you in charge of millions of pounds of money.
Yeah.
What happened? Where did the money go when everyone panicked?
Well, they charge like a herd of sheep in one direction, only to freak out the very next day and charge in the other direction. It's like a herd of cattle with no head. Or chickens without their heads on. Yeah.
Yeah, better than cattle. Cattle without their heads is a slightly more disturbing image than chickens.
A little bit, yeah.
There's more good news, and it's that we refer to headless chickens rather than headless cattle.
I think that the point that you're making is actually is right. We are fed lies because that story that I just read out about consumer confidence being on the up is the inverse of the actual truth, which is that consumer confidence is still down. It's still in negative territory, which is not up. It's just less bad. It was written as a good story. Consumers are feeling great, and they're going out and they're spending a ton of money. Well, actually, no, they're not. They're just not feeling as bad as they used to, but they're still feeling bad. It's not a good thing. But it's a less bad thing. So in that respect, yeah, it's a lie. Is your name really Happy?
My name is Really Happy, yeah.
Right.
Is that good? Is that good news?
Yeah, but it makes me happy to hear it.
Well, listen, my children are called Star, Tiger and Flame, but our dog is called Susan to just address some balance in the family.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear it. Thanks a lot, mate.
Yowza.
And if he's an actor or a musician, that's okay. If he's a member of Parliament, not so much. 0845 6060 973. Here is a call in Mitcham. Hakeem.
Yeah, hi, home. Hi.
How you going?
I'm good. I was just trying to confirm about the details that was given to you earlier.
Yeah.
Just about the minute and the minute.
Wait a minute. Have I spoken to you already?
No.
Oh, okay then.
This is my first time.
All right then. Go ahead.
Hi. Yeah. So Nick, I was just going to say, it was 8,760 hours in a year.
8,760 hours
a year, and if it's a leap year, it's 8,784 with a leap year. Then, if you want it in minute,
yeah,
in a year, it's 525,000.
525,000.
600 minutes a year.
600. That's a suspiciously round number, Hakeem.
525,600 minutes a year.
525,600 minutes.
600 minutes a year.
Yeah.
And if it's a leap year, it would be 527,040 minutes a year. Is that clear?
Yeah, it's crystal clear, yeah. I've written it down.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's what I was just trying to say.
Okay, well, that's a very important point you made. What good news to hear it. He's a fan of maths. Can you believe that? An arithmetical genius. Thanks for setting us straight there, Hakeem. Good news. Aid has given 800 million extra people access to water on the planet, says this one. Hi, Nick, I met my hero last year. Darren Brown. Darren. Where does that name come from? No one in the history of humankind has ever been called Darren. It's not Darren, it's Darren. I'm going to call him Darren. Darren Brown. We called him at the stage door after a show, says this, and he was even nicer than I imagined. He signed my programme and had a chat. One of the surrealist experiences. One of the most surreal experiences, and one I'll never forget. Maybe I'll? If you meet your hero and they're horrible, get another one, says Chris. Excellent idea. Right. Of 525,600 minutes in a year, all I'm asking is that the next 30 are filled with good news stories. You can fill the other 525,570 minutes in the year with depressing and awful news stories, but just for 30 minutes in 1 year can we continue the positivity. I have my doubts. 0845 6060 973. The time is 12:30. This is Nick Abbott, LBC 97.3.
LBC 97.3. Call 0845 6060 973. Text 84850. Tweet at LBC 973. This is London's biggest conversation with Nick Abbott.
0845 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's at LBC973. I have some good news about advertising hoardings. There's something interesting that's going to happen to them this summer. And you could have a hand in how they look. I'll come to that in just a minute. His call in... Oh, it just disappeared. OK, never mind. Oh, I'll tell you it now. Why not? Tens of thousands of billboards that are normally used to promote the merits of whiter teeth or shinier cars will take a holiday from advertising for 2 weeks this summer to show the best of British art. It's a project backed by Tate Britain, which will seek the public's 50 favourite works by British artists and reproduce them on hoardings nationwide to celebrate the nation's artistic prowess. Please, 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 pretty please with sugar on top, do not pick Damien Hirst's Dots.
Boring!
And don't pick anything by Banksy either. It's just a joke. He's just a cartoonist, not actually art. The scheme is entitled Art Everywhere and will involve at least 15,000 billboards. So it's not just going to be one or two, it'll be everywhere. 15,000 billboards with the potential for thousands more if the public chooses to donate to support the idea. The space will be provided free. How about that for good news? Free of charge by the owners of the hoardings. The idea was proposed by Richard Reed, a philanthropist who made his fortune when he and his co-founders of the Innocent Smoothie Company sold their stake to Coca-Cola for... Here's another brilliant idea I never had. £130 million. £130 million for juice. He was inspired by a poster that brightened his day on his dismal walk to work in West London. He said, I used to have to walk through Shepherd's Bush every morning to work at Innocent. Somebody had put a beautiful poster on a billboard on Goldhawk Road. He said, it put a bounce in my step. If you know Goldhawk Road, you'll know that you need an extra bounce in your step. Yeah, well, I used to live on Goldhawk Road, in a tiny little avenue off it called Scots Road. And when I say tiny, I mean awful. It's understood that billboard companies embraced the scheme because August is traditionally a slack time for advertising. So you'll be able to choose what goes up on 15,000 billboards all over the land. Excellent. And you'll be able to select it from Great British Art. Now, there's a website, but it's not live yet. I think it starts at the end of the month. But make a note of it. Write it down on your forehead so you don't forget. It's called Art Everywhere. So I think that's good news. Here is a call in Battersea, which will continue that theme. Let's hope. Kerry.
Hi, Nick.
Kerry.
I've got some. Oh, good evening. Anyway, I've got some fantastic news. I've just come back from the Caribbean, where I was watching great big. I'm talking about size of the front of the car turtles who travelled from Africa back to the beach they were born on in the Caribbean, laying their eggs, and they're quite an endangered species. And there were hundreds of them. Great. I'm talking about. I couldn't. You go down on the beach about 2 a.m, you can't see because you're not allowed any lights, photography, but you had an infrared light, and suddenly you see this massive, I'm talking about something out of a dinosaur film, coming up the beach. I mean, I was so shocked. I honestly couldn't believe the size of it. And it stays there some of them about an hour, digging 3 feet down, and then it lays its eggs, covers it over, and then it goes over to another part and digs another hole 3 feet down to kind of distract any predators that are looking for the eggs.
I've seen this on TV, and
mind blowing. Well, everybody was saying to me, "You must have seen this on David Attenborough."
Exactly.
I haven't, and I've never thought of turtles. But it was like meeting a little spiritual group down on the beach. They all over the island. People are watching all night to make sure they're tagging them as well, so that they keep some track on them. On the, they're tagging them, like quickly clipping the back of them with some kind of tracking device. But it was, I can honestly say, it brought me to tears to see the work involved in this nesting, laying the eggs on the beach. It was astonishing.
And and do they not travel thousands of miles in order to get back to that one particular beach?
Well, I hope I'm saying the right thing, because I got so carried away. I probably listened less and was watching more. But there was a young girl from the veterinary school in London who's been doing conservation work, and she was on the beach, and she said that these turtles travel thousands of miles from Africa. They're escorted by their male partner, who wards off predators such as sharks and whales. They're the main predators of them. And then they come all the way to the beach. Nick, how does this work? To the beach where they were born.
Mystifying.
Where they were born.
It sounds like they also are trying to commit species suicide.
Oh, God,
why don't they just lay their eggs in Africa? Why don't they put their feet up and not swim 1,000 miles? Yeah.
Apparently, out of all the eggs that were being laid all over the island, everybody was running around to different beaches to watch these incredible animals lay their eggs. Let's say out of the 1,000 eggs that, a group collectively dropped, nested, apparently only 5 will actually make it into the sea and full term become turtles that will then, at 30 years of age, they begin their procreating again. But I've never thought of them, and it really touched me, to see people really working hard to try and make sure that that the females are safe and that.
Well, I've got bad news for you, Kerry. You saw the good part. The David Attenborough showed us the bad part, and the bad part is where they all hatch out, but they all hatch out at the same time. I think it's like a full moon or something like that. There's something that happens that alerts them, and the bell goes off, and they all these tiny little things start charging towards the sea, and then birds swoop down and eat them all.
Well, they were already on the beach that night as the eggs were being laid, and great big birds were just walking around. It was late, 2 in the morning, so they already know where the eggs are.
That's right.
It was astounding. It was good news, Nick. I don't know how it would turn out. It was brilliant news.
It sounds like you're full of the joys of nature, Kerry.
I am. Right, I'm a turtle watcher now.
It's nice to hear. Thanks a lot. 0845 6060 973. That seems like another species that's just asking for it, like penguins. I've seen that over and over again when penguins, the males all shuffle up and is it the pole or one of the poles? Who cares? Never going to go there. And they all shuffle up and squeeze together. They squeeze together in a huddle, and they stay there for 6 months, something like that. And all the women penguins, they stay in the sea where it's warmer. It's not warm, but it's warmer, and it's lighter too. And it's not 5 miles away or 10 miles away. It's 100 miles away. Am I getting this right? It seemed incredible when I was watching it on TV that they're so stupid that they walk 100 miles in order to stand there in a circle for like 3 months in darkness in the coldest place on Earth. Stupid penguins. And then after 3 months, the women come back. They walk 100 miles. And penguins, they're not such great walkers, really. You're actually imitating a penguin.
It was good, wasn't
Very
it?
suspiciously accurate, yes. They walk 100 miles like that. Can you believe it? I think I've got that right. And that seems like, as a species, they're asking for it. Stupid penguins. By text and email, I've got the best news. My GCSE exams finish on Friday. 3 exclamation marks. I've had 21 exams. 21? So I cannot wait for the last 6 to be over after this week, says Christy, 16. How can anybody have 21 exams? Does that sound right? 21?
Well, she says so. I mean, I'm not one to question Christy and her exams.
But there aren't 21 subjects.
Yeah, but she probably has more than one exam. I mean, for example, in if you're doing French, you'd have a French oral exam.
Are we?
As well as a written exam, wouldn't you?
I
And
suppose
you
so.
might have...
That counts as 2, does it?
English, you might have literature and language.
Yeah.
And... if you're doing the subject of humanities,
You could do it in English
if they
and French.
still do humanities, then you would have that incorporates what you used to incorporate RE, history, and geography, and they'd be separate exams, but under the same umbrella as humanities.
That sounds like you're just. That sounds.
What are you accusing
desperate.
me of making that up?
Yes, making
Again,
it up.
libelous.
That is what I am saying. You are making it up. It's not libelous. All I am saying is... Liar! 0845 6060 973. Sutton. Hello, Keith.
Oh, hi there, Nick.
Keith.
Good news story for you, mate.
Yes.
I've just been out playing my lovely bass guitar this evening, and I've come away with a big handful of nice
money,
drinking and eating vouchers with number 20 on them. Lovely.
Really?
Mm.
You actually get paid to play music?
Oh, God, yes.
And where do you do this?
In various establishments in and around the home counties.
You're a busker?
No. Pubs and clubs.
Right. And how is the pub and club circuit these days?
Actually, it's not too bad. It's nowhere near as bad. Well, in my experience, it's not as bad as a lot of people would say. Some places are pretty dire, but the majority of places seem to be thriving quite well.
And what kind of music do you play?
Pops, really. Just pop music, pop and rock covers.
Because it used to be that you associated the pub rock scene with like the late, the mid to late 70s, I suppose the 60s as well, but most of the sort of pub rock bands that came to prominence sort of burst out around about the punk years, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
But then since then, it's not really something that's... Maybe it's just because I don't go and I'm not looking for it, but I wasn't aware that the pub rock scene was still a big thing, because pubs... These days, they're more like eating establishments than drinking establishments, eh?
I must confess that there are not as many pubs as there are clubs to play in. When I say clubs, I'm talking specifically about the old social clubs, you know, the working men's clubs and the legions and places like that.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of work out there.
Well, listen, Keith, if you can get paid money to play music, then it sounds like you're on a winner to me.
Good old drinking vouchers, that's what I like.
All right. Thanks a lot, Keith. There you are. Good news. 0845 6060 973. There's 525,600 minutes in 1 year. All I'm asking is that you fill the next 10 with good news stories. And then you can have the rest of the 525,590 minutes of the year to immerse yourself in bad news. Just 10 minutes, that's all. 0845 6060 973. Can we do it? And when I started this, I thought there's absolutely no way I'll be able to get through a 3-hour show. Just 3 small hours, short 3-hour show. And have it full of good news. I thought there's no way I'll be able to do that. And we may fall just at the last hurdle. Who knows? There's 12 minutes to go. Can we do it? This message says, after being very unwell, including her heart actually stopping on the operation table 6 weeks ago, today our kitten has shown signs of improvement It's only cost £900. Worth every penny. Ah. 0845 6060 973. Reigate. Hello, Alan.
Yeah, good evening, Nick.
Alan.
I got a great story about my mate, Pat, and the NHS.
Yes.
A couple of Fridays ago in the morning, he had a heart attack. They took him in, they put some stents in, and on the Monday they let him out, and then last Sunday he came out and beat me 5-2 at snooker.
Wow. I thought you were going to say tennis.
No, snooker.
Right.
But it was really good because he's in his 70s, and literally the heart attack occurred. They took him straight into the hospital up at Red Hill, and they put the stents in, and they let him out on the Friday and on the Monday, and then, as I say, last Sunday he played snooker, won 5-2, and it was a joy to see him enjoying his life again, because at one point in time we just thought that's the end for him.
Yeah. What they can do these days with medical science, eh?
Well, the NHS are brilliant, mate, in my view. I had a thing that
They
I
can
had
be.
done, and they were, it depends on where you are. You obviously, you can be lucky or unlucky.
Exactly.
Good luck.
It's like everything else. You can be lucky or unlucky, yeah.
But that was some really good news from the heart.
Well, I had an excellent experience with the NHS. I mean, I did have to wait 3.5 hours, but I wasn't particularly bothered by that because that's what you expect when you go to A&E. And
Was that when you had your little accident?
When I had a massive rock sticking out my eyeball, yeah. And
my God.
they plucked it out, no problemo. In fact, I felt ridiculous. It took such a short period of time just to whip it out that I thought, well, maybe I could have just rubbed it out. But if you've got something stuck actually in your eye, probably best not to try and get it out yourself.
I would definitely not rub it.
Yeah.
You would have ended up tearing your
Exactly, yeah. So I think I did the right thing, and they were excellent in every regard.
Wonderful.
I'm glad to hear it, Alan.
And you, sir.
Thanks a lot, mate. 0845 6060 973. 9 minutes to go. Can we do it? What do you think, Amanda?
Well, as I said, I have some good news this week.
Yeah.
I got a cat.
You got a cat?
I did.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what cats eat?
Mice.
No, they don't. They eat birds. Bird killer.
Well, she hasn't been outside yet, so I've yet to see that side of her personality.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, she won't show it to you. Well, she may bring a dead bird in every now and again, or like a half-dead rat, something like that.
Oh, don't say that. No,
they
she
do.
Won't
They bring
touch rats.
They
no.
bring. You don't know that.
No, she won't. Don't.
Well, you've had this discussion with her, have you? Oh no, my cat won't touch a rat.
No,
you don't know that?
No, I do. I do. It'll be fine.
The thing is that they don't bring dead ones in. They bring half-dead ones in.
Nick.
I'm just saying.
Don't just say.
I'm just saying.
Do you want a cat?
They bring half-dead ones in, that's all. And then they play with them.
They don't. It's the mice. It's mice that they do that with.
Yeah.
They don't do that with rats. They just do that with mice.
So what kind of a cat is it?
It's a black and white one.
That's not telling me what kind of a cat it is.
Well, what kind of cat do you...
Well, I don't know.
It's a girl. It's black and white and it's two.
Is it a short-haired or one of those long-haired?
Medium.
Foofy cats.
It's not a foofy one, but it's got medium foof.
You want to know how to drive a cat absolutely bonkers and insane, even if it's the kind of cat that's grown up and doesn't want to play with the string. You know, because you dangle a piece of string in front.
That.
Yeah, okay. A little kitten will go berserk for anything really that moves quickly. But after a while, a cat will just look at you like, oh, I'm so bored of this, like that. They'll get all French on you and they go, are you joking? Here's how to get to revivify a cat's inner kitten.
I think I know what you're going to say.
If you've got a watch, it works the best with a watch.
Oh, okay.
Or some other, glistening thing. If you catch the sun on your watch, it will produce a tiny speck of light on the wall. Have you ever seen this?
I have. Yeah. It's hilarious.
If you move the speck of light along the wall, the cat will go absolutely berserk trying to catch it. And it doesn't matter how old the cat is, up to a certain, when a cat just doesn't want to get up for anything, then it's too late. But if it's lost its inner, it's like kittenish behaviour, you can reintroduce it to that side of itself by catching the light off your watch on the wall. Trust me, it's hilarious.
Sounds like hours of fun.
It absolutely is. Yeah, make sure that you YouTube it. Here is Enfield. And it's gone. Damn. Well, so that's that then. We fell at the last. Huh? Do you think we can get her back? Well, we'll find out. Am I going to fall 5 minutes short? Are we really are we really that desperate that we're going to actually finish the show 5 minutes early because we couldn't fill it with enough good news? I am stunned. Waterloo. Hello, Veronica.
Hiya.
Veronica.
Good news.
Yes.
It's going to happen very shortly, within the next couple of weeks, and it is that 1,500 small, hand-knitted teddy bears are going to go to the children in Gaza.
Hand-knitted?
Yep.
Did you knit them?
Not me. No, I just arranged for them to get there. No, there are volunteers all over Britain who knit these small bears. They're called trauma bears.
Yeah.
And they're sent to children anywhere in the world, including in this country, who are having a hard time.
Huh.
So any flood, earthquake, poverty, dispossession of some sort or another, then, or accidents or illness,
yeah.
Then the children are given one of these bears.
Well, that's a good idea. Who thought of that idea?
I think it was somebody in Guildford originally, but it's caught on, and there are lots of knitting groups, there are a lot of individual people. They're all made to the same size. I haven't seen two that are the same. They're a riot. They're
Wow.
absolutely wonderful.
A good thing came out of Guildford. Who can believe it? Thanks for the good news, Veronica.
Okay.
Cheers. 0845 6060 973. Anybody else? Any more? Some texts and emails. This one says, I know exactly what that lady said about the turtles in the sea. They swarm under me in Greece, and I can't read that. And I nearly had an accident. I was so excited. That's the cleaned-up version. Here's a call in Hammersmith. Hello, David.
Hello, Nick.
David.
Yeah. Good news. Well, for me, and I should think a lot of other people as well, that for 624 hours in a year, you and Amanda put a smile on people's faces.
Is that how long it is? 624 hours?
Yeah. 52 weeks in a year.
It's not a minute too long, is it, Amanda? Look at her face. Furious.
I met one of my comedy heroes once. I was working in a house next door to him. And that was a man who didn't want his arms to feel like a bad fortnight in two balloons.
A man who didn't want... Say that again.
His arms to feel like a couple of bad fortnights in two balloons. That's Chris Morris.
I don't understand what that means. A man who...
He approached a drug dealer on the Brass Eye.
Oh, yeah.
Spoof documentary on drugs. He was approaching this...
the cake thing.
Drug... Yeah, cake was in there, yeah, but this one was where he approached a drug dealer in All Saints Road. And he says to him, he says, I just want some stuff, I just don't want my arms to feel like a bad fortnight in two balloons. And just totally sort of mixing up words like that, just totally baffling.
And he actually lived to tell the tale. That's the surprising part.
I live there.
Don't do that in Baltimore, Chris.
No, I lived there for a year, a few years ago, in the 80s, with a girlfriend, and prior to that, I'd spent the first 13 years of my life around there. And, yeah, he lived to tell the tale, quite luckily. Sponge balls, very good for cats to play with.
Sponge balls, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering where you were going there for a moment. Sponge balls, you say. All right, good news. Thanks, David. 0845 6060 973. Chris Morris lived to tell the tale. He discombobulated a drug dealer, and fortunately he picked one in this country, not in America. Otherwise, he may have been met with a different response. Enfield. Now, wait a minute. This is not good news?
Not for me, it isn't, so I've got my fingers in my ears.
Well, what is it about?
For me.
It's... Huh?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. I had my fingers in my ears.
Silly woman.
Well, I don't want to hear this story.
But what is it about?
Ask Jackie.
Well, maybe I don't want to hear the story. Well, I'll ask. Hey, Jackie, what's the story about?
It's about the cats bringing in the rats.
Cats bringing in rats. Okay, lay it on us, baby.
They do, but they bring them dead. So.
I thought that cats didn't kill their prey outright. I thought they leave them half alive in order to play with them.
They do, but these ones that I've found were dead ones in my room.
Yeah.
So I've had to close the cat flap, and now they've got to be checked before they come in through the cat flap.
What, they've got to go through security?
We do. We have security before the cat flap's open, so...
Right.
So we've solved that problem.
Well, that sounds
are
like a good idea.
Big rats. So.
Big, huge rats. Yeah, big, huge, smelly rats.
I think it's the rat bringing in the cat, actually. No. Anyway.
So that's actually bad news for Amanda, who's just bought herself one. Okay, thanks a lot, Jackie. You know what you need for a cat that brings in rats? A dog to dissuade the cat from bringing in rats.
A dog,
yeah.
and then what about if the dog brings in a rat? So
right.
maybe
it sounds like
horse.
that song with the woman who swallowed the spider. Yeah,
it's all going to get a bit out of control, I think.
Speaking of good news, my winning lottery. Who cares? I'll just assume I've lost.
I hate it.
I hate that game. Meanwhile, the good news continues with the Christo Show.
Yes, good morning.
Morning,
You're
Christo.
right, it is good news that I'm coming up at 1 o'clock.
Super.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're going to be talking about... we're going to wheel out another one tonight that I don't usually like to talk about, but I feel we should. Can you give me a coherent and reasoned case that alien life forms walk this Earth? Seriously, we'll talk about that from 1 o'clock. Have you cut down on your meat consumption, and can you...